Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast, is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Tom Clark here with you as always, joined by Jay Luft and Joe Higgens. And then there was one. This is episode number 12, the journey that started last year in August of 2023. Yes, it's been that long. I know what you're thinking. Tom, I had no idea it's been that long. Let me tell you, it's been that long. In fact, August 12th of last year, because we premiered the season 1 trailer in June, I think, of last year. And then we set out to record and get some episodes done ahead of time. And then August 12th. By the way, I tend to start a podcast in the fall of every year. All of my shows start in the fall. I don't know. It's got nothing to do with anything. But look, man, we talked a bunch off mic, kids, till eventually I said, all right, I've put this off long enough because I don't want to be done here. We've had such a blast recording this show. And hopefully you folks out there have enjoyed watching and listening after the fact. We appreciate you hanging in there with us and being patient. As I said, we've arrived. We're here. This is episode 12. Can't believe it's already here. Joe, first thoughts coming into this, man. What do you got?
Man, this is it. This is what we've been working towards. This is the grand finale. And I'd forgotten how heartbreaking it is. Obviously, you know that's going to happen. But there's also moments of genuine joy in there, and a nice little bit of not redemption, more of people receiving their comeuppances, should we say? And yeah, it's just I think this of the, you know, as we said, like it's the third act of this final 3 episodes, and it beautifully rounds everything off. Everyone, you find out how everyone does at the end of it, and it kind of reminded me at the end episode of Superstore. Basically, because there's a big barbecue, and that's how Superstore ends as well. But yeah, it's just like all these characters that you've grown to know and love. You see a little bit of like that Breakfast Clubby side of Jenkins went on to work, you know, that sort of stuff. Yeah, but obviously in a much better way. But
great stuff.
We get Ted's ending, Ted and Rebecca's ending, which has been the key core of all of these seasons, really, is the dynamic between those two.
And we get an unlikely hero. And I'd forgotten how much, I don't know if he redeemed anything about himself, but when it happens, I'm like, all right, I'm a fan of this guy now. He was always charming in his own crotchety way, but when it happens, and we'll get there, I'm like, yes, like at least someone stood up to him. It was great.
As we've said, like throughout the show, there's only 2 characters without any redeeming qualities. One of them's Rupert, and one of them's Edwin Akufu. And
that's true.
I'd say Jack as well.
Oh yeah, Jack.
Not bad.
Jack in the end, yeah. Jack's a piece of shit at the end.
Just a coward, yeah.
Yeah, spineless.
And Edwin Akufu's like pantomime villain level, like thingy, whereas Rupert's more like an actual real
plotting. Yeah.
Edwin Akufu's like Nigerian Dick Dastardly.
Yeah.
Not Nigerian, Ghanaian, isn't he?
I was going to say, yeah.
By the way, he is tremendous in the new Kevin Smith flick, the 4:30 movie. He's really good in it. He's hilarious.
He's great in pretty much everything I've seen him in, to be fair, but yeah.
Little buff boys.
Buff boys.
Well, we dated this show, kids, as you can tell with references, because I'll tell you this, we spent a lot of time talking about politics in both countries before we started recording. So we won't state it too much, but yeah. It is what it is. Jay, I was getting ready to ask you about your first thoughts coming into this. What do you think?
I can't talk about it without crying. No, it's the perfect ending. I think it really is. Like, it's very bittersweet at times. There's a lot of really just nice moments of like people coming full circle. There's a lot of nice moments like mirroring the very first episode in this episode. And yeah, it's just a really, really good way to end the show. Or put a midpoint on part of a show, maybe.
I think we said quite early on, didn't we? That basically Ted Lasso gets to halfway and then just reverses itself into a finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It is literally like the epitome of full circle.
Yeah,
there's so many moments in this episode as well where it's just like completely full circle.
And we get to see Barbara.
We get to
see Barbara, which makes me happy always.
And Joe's favorite part, we get to see Henry as well. So.
Yeah, but he's not the most odious person in that bit, so he's fine.
Like, Dr. Jake's a piece of shit as well. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. As long as there's someone worse than you, you're all right, Henry. Like,
yeah, he makes Henry look like Coach Beard. I'm just saying, like that's a tall order right there, buddy.
I mean, Henry's acting's as good as his finishing in football. That's all I'll say about that.
He's a child.
Oh, now you defend him? Is that what I'm hearing? Oh my God!
Not for his acting, but for his kicking of a ball.
The fucking open goal.
What's the fucking open goals wrong with you? Oh, that's wonderful.
All right, well, I'm not a sports boy, am I?
Yeah, well, hey, look, a lot to get to, folks, and like I said, we put it off long enough. By the way, this will I can't speak for you guys, but this will be the first complete podcast that I've ever done that had a predestined finish point. I've never done anything like this before, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah, same man.
Yeah. All right, folks, we are ready. Episode 12, season 3. This one's called So Long, Farewell. Original air date, May 31st, 2023. This one's directed by Declean Lowney on a story by Brendan Hunt, Joe Kelly, and Jason Sudeikis. 12 episodes in season 3, kids. This is it. Here we go. When last we left the Ted Lasso gang, Ted is surprised and annoyed. It's the last time I'm going to say that, I just realized.
I know.
Ted is surprised and annoyed by a visit from his mom just days before the team travels to Manchester to face Man City in a game that will clinch the title for the Greyhounds. Jamie struggled to keep himself together on the eve of his first game back in Manchester since returning to AFC Richmond, and Roy and Keeley stepped in to help as the trio found themselves at Jamie's mom's. Nate's life away from football continued despite the players' desire to see him return, and Jay's insistence on him going back led to a face-to-face with Beard, who ultimately forgave him. Ted finally confronted his mom about the years of her not dealing with the loss of his father, and as he received closure, he dropped a truth bomb on Rebecca in the end. And that's how we start. We open on Gary and Thierry, yeah?
Thierry Henry.
Thierry Henry. There we go.
Thierry Henry.
In the very end, I still butcher it. Gary says it's a rare treat when the Premier League title comes down to the last match of the season. And Thierry, if Greyhounds win on Sunday and Man City loses or draws, AFC Richmond will actually win the league. Thierry says, incredible. And you picked them to finish last. Gary says, hey, so did you. He goes, sorry, Gary. I only remember my victories. I have no room in my brain for anything else. And Gary says, well, it should be a great match. Last time Richmond played West Ham, though, things got ugly. Thierry said, that wasn't football. It was a crime scene. Gary says, speaking of which, Rupert Mannion has been accused of an inappropriate relationship by a former assistant. We saw that unfolding recently, putting the team owner in hot water. Henry says, hot water? That man is boiling. If he had noodles in his pockets, he could make a soup. Gary says, my nan made a delicious pocket soup, built like a minestrone. We see Rebecca in her kitchen watching this, and she's like starting to make faces.
Yeah, I was like, what's happened here? Like,
I'm like, we've lived with this through 3 seasons. You just now notice they get a little weird when they talk to each other?
No. Like, never to this level.
Never this weird.
That's fair.
Soup. Yeah.
The only time they've been that weird is Beard's night out.
That's fair. Yeah.
I
and
swear
parts of that
to
only
God,
he
if
heard.
we bring back season 4 and it just opens up with it was just a dream, like, and it's just retcons this episode and that's it.
Just Beard coming out of a shower.
It's Bobby in the shower of Dallas. Yes. Oh my God. Wonderful. Henry says, personally, I thought he should have stayed with Rebecca Welton. Now they were a power couple. And she says, oh, shut up, Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, Jay, let's throw it to you first here. We won't be doing it too much awful longer here. For the football stuff, how often has the Premier League championship, I guess, come down to one game, the last game?
Oh, quite a lot, quite frequently. The most famous one in, like, I'd say recent years, it's not like recent years, it has been quite a long time since that happened now, was when City won their first league title, where it looked like they weren't going to win it. They had to score 2 goals with about 10 minutes left to go. And then Manchester United looked like they won the league already. They were celebrating on the pitch. And then City scored 2 goals, like literally with like about 2 minutes left of the game. And won the league. And it doesn't happen as often anymore. Like I think the last time it got down to the last day with Liverpool and City not that long ago. It may have last season got down to City and Arsenal. I can't quite remember. But yeah, usually you tend to find that it is decided by like the final game, but it isn't completely out the realm of possibility that it's decided on the last day for sure.
Yeah, that City's got a habit of just when you think it's a tie or you've won. No, it's not. Like, they're very good at that. I'm saying in the clutch, they're really good.
They are very good.
So then suddenly, without warning, Ted comes around the corner with Bedhead. He and Rebecca are a little awkward. Now, Joe, watching this for the first time, if you can remember back when this happened, were you thinking, like, what were you thinking?
I was like, I genuinely hope they haven't done this in the last episode. And then about, as soon as he started talking, he's like, do you want to talk about it? And she's like, no, I'm not ready. And I'm like, no. This is just a bit. There was a moment. There was a brief moment.
Yeah. But... as soon as this happened, I thought it was like a nudge, wink, wink, sort of like. I thought if they were going to allude to it, they'd never outright admit that it happened.
Yeah.
But I think it was very much because obviously a lot of people, like a lot of the fan base, were kind of divided in whether it should end up with Ted and Rebecca together or whether it was just a platonic relationship. I think we've made it all very clear. We think it always should have been a platonic relationship because it's 2 broken people helping each other fix each other. That's the whole like relationship they've got. Not in anything romantic at all. And it is very. I thought it was very clever the way the show kind of does it. To be fair, because it's just like, again, it's that little bit of like almost fan service for people who wanted it, but then obviously pulling the rug from under them, going, no, we never thought about doing it this way.
I had to watch the end bit of the first time we watched it. I had to go back and watch the end of the last episode. What happened at the end of the last episode to lead into this? Oh, right. No. This is just a bit. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Beard comes in a little red thong, and I'm like, right.
I was going to say, as soon as Beard's got his pancake ass out, he's ruining it for everybody.
As much as we try to not ruin the show for people who hadn't watched, I think on episode 1 we said, well, they're not supposed to be together. Because we all felt that way, and like,
I
thought that though the first time I watched it, where it was like there was a little bit where it was like I can see these 2 getting together, but then once it got past like the end of season 1, I was like, no, they shouldn't be together. They should be helping each other like come to terms with what's going on in their life, because that's the whole point of it. They're literally 2 broken people who aren't too dissimilar, going through very similar things, who need help getting out the other side.
It's
well put.
They never should have been together, and thankfully they didn't.
Yeah, my setup for Beard was my same for the setup with Ted, and it goes like this. And then suddenly, without warning, Beard comes in wearing a red thong and a sleeveless tee of the darkness. Yep. And also, is he wearing eyeliner? Because I swear to God, I think he is.
Probably. They were him and Jane were getting up to some weird stuff in that guest room, it sounds like.
I'm saying.
Although also he has said that he hasn't slept for 3 days at the end of the episode, so it could just be that he's literally not slept for 3 days.
Yeah.
What was the quote? I forget where it was. Someone was saying, I could never be that comfortable with my body. I could never. What was the quote? Was it from this show, or am I going to another show in my head? I can never be that free. You know what I mean? That's me with beard. I could never be this comfortable and this free. It's not happening. Like, this is
not in someone else's house, but if it was in my own house, yeah, why not?
In my own house, it's different.
Not in your boss's kitchen.
No, yeah.
No.
Not in your boss's kitchen. That's insanity.
Especially when he comes and sits down next to her, like,
yes,
pancake patty on the bench.
I was gonna say it's the noise
she's
that
like,
his ass cheek makes when he sits on it, and she just looks at him like, no.
And they don't want to talk about it. And Beard says, "Oh, what a night! What a night! What a night! Woo! Sorry for all the noise." Jane comes in wearing what looks like a suit jacket, and she goes, "Morning, nerds. You're welcome for all the noise." Freaking Jane, man. No shame. Got no shame. Rebecca, she said, "Rebecca, I hope you don't mind. I went through your wardrobe and borrowed this dress." Rebecca goes, "Well, it's a blazer, but yes, help yourself." I'm guessing that she got to take that home and never had to return it.
No.
Rebecca's like, "You can have that." Yeah.
I'm assuming Rebecca doesn't buy clothes. She just gets given them by designer people, isn't it? Like,
it's great. Yeah, they are so weird for each other, but it works. It works. Ted says, "Hey, thanks again for letting us all crash here last night." Then we get the explanation. When I got Beard's text saying that there was a deadly gas leak in the neighborhood, I just assumed he was bragging about one of his epic toots. And they all laugh. And Beard says, "Isn't that crazy that this is going to be the last time we wake up like this?" And he's like, I mean, the last and the first time, but still, you know. And Ted's like, "Yeah, boss don't want to talk about it just yet." And Beard sits down as we sit on the counter next to her. Beard says, "Boss, I'm right there with you." And then suddenly the housekeeper shows up. "I'll start in the guest rooms." And everyone's fine. And then they look at each other and Beard's like, no, wait, please. And you can hear them. They're like, "Those ropes are not garbage. Some of it's dirty on purpose." Like, yep. Oh my God, what's in the guest rooms? What did you two do last night? Wonderful. So we're in the locker room at the dog track and we open on a gavel being sat down in a chair. The theme from the People's Court, if you remember that show, kids.
The bongo solo. Yeah.
Will introduces the Honorable Judge McAdoo. Isaac comes in wearing a velvet tracksuit, a judge's wig, and shades. He looks awesome. He looks like a pro wrestling gimmick come to life. That is awesome. The platform and throne from previous episodes is back. Love it. Isaac sits down yelling, "Silence!" He calls on the court treasurer, who is Sam, and asks if there are any unresolved fines from this season. Sam says yes, and please remember that all the fines will go towards funding the end-of-season party this Sunday night at the restaurant. All the guys cheer at this. Isaac tells the bailiff, who is Will, to bring forth the receptacle. Will says the assistant kit man has it, and Nate appears with one of his homemade boxes. He corrects Will and says he's assistant to the kit man.
Which is a little
office reference there.
Yeah.
Very good. By the way, I have in my notes here, Nate's transformation, in case anyone hasn't realized it from the previous episode, is 100% complete.
Yeah.
Like, this is, he's even better than he was.
Smile on his face and
better than he was before. We can say that, right? He's a better version now than he was when he left.
Yeah. You got to fall to come back up. That's the thing, isn't it?
Very good. Yeah.
I think as well though, like because obviously he's like starting at the bottom and he's climbing his way back up. He's very like he's kind of realized he's got to kind of earn his way back into everyone's good graces. Like he can't just walk in and be like
assistant coach again.
Yeah, he's got to kind of like earn his stripes to sort of show like, yeah, I made a massive fuck up, but I do genuinely want to be back here.
So the fines are wonderful. Jan Moss gets fined 200 pounds for being late to training. We can hear Jan say, "That's fair," as he's putting money in the box. Danny, who got fined for not texting happy birthday on a player's birthday. 100 pounds. Danny
Objection.
objects.
Objection. Yes. I put a little heart on someone else's one. Overruled.
Did you guys notice that he almost lost it, like laughing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, if that take made it into the show, how many didn't make it into the show? Right?
There's a bit later where it's quite a bit later into the episode where you see Jamie looking into the office, and he's blurry, but he's like, you can see he's like fighting back laughter because he has to walk off.
Yes, I caught that.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that some of them were put in just because it's the last episode and they're all enjoying themselves. Maybe. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Maybe it could have just been him, Danny, laughing at the ridiculousness of it all. But yeah, no, it does look like he's about that far from corpsing. Yeah.
Chris A. Fernandez is fantastic. I love Danny. Jamie Tart, as we said, he gets fined 200 pounds for falling asleep during team meditation training. He says everyone was sleeping. I was just the only one who was snoring. He puts his money in the box, and before Nate can walk off, he puts more money in and then gives Nate the shush.
It's full circle moment number 1, that isn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Because in the first episode, he sticks his chewing gum in Nate's little box that he's got.
Yep.
Episode 2, season 1.
Episode 2.
Yes.
Yep. And also in that episode, and he wore it several times, the icon hat. In this one, it's ICOG, which means he's part of the machine now.
Oh.
Love this show. And yeah, wonderful. Sam says that's all he has, and Isaac takes it from there. And finally, Nathan Shelley, for missing every training session, every match, and every team dinner this season, I hereby fine you 5,000 pounds. Nate says, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I deserve it.
I mean, to be fair, that was probably like chum change on a severance package, wasn't it?
No, yeah, but to which Sam announces that they're going to have, what is it, free bar and a karaoke band on as well, and everyone's like, ah.
By the way, I hate we didn't get to see it. I really wanted to see it.
No, I know. I wanted to see Danny Rojas doing Islands in the Stream or something. Yeah.
Oh yes. So, despite Nate's methods of getting the West Ham job, and I'll throw it out to whoever here. Despite his methods of getting the West Ham job, the fact is he did very well in that gig. And if there's one big thing for me that's kind of dangling there, I'd like to see him in a sequel, a season 4. If it's not AFC Richmond, maybe he gets an offer, and a lot of the season is, I don't know if I should. Look what happened the last time, and the guys are building up his confidence, saying, "Look, that was a different you." I don't know. I just feel like he was so good in that role. Again, despite being a douchebag, but kind of weird to see him just be the assistant to the kit man.
You probably see him tackle it differently, but then again, there's a lot of things that they teased for if they did do another season of Ted Lasso, where Nate could do that but remain at the club.
Yeah, I think at the end of it, he is on the
he's back in the
squad.
Yeah, he's brought back in the coaching staff by in the last game, isn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, I think this is just a bit of don't forget your place sort of stuff.
True.
Yeah.
So after packing up her car, or actually she just arrived at the facility there, Keeley, and this dates back to season 1, episode 5. She shuts the trunk and Roy is right there.
Michael Myers in it up. Yeah.
Yes. Scares the hell out of her. She says, one of these days I'm going to scare you. And he says, that's easy. Just ask me what I'm thinking about. So she does. And he just stares at her and says stuff. She says, terrifying. Good to see you, Roy. And then walks off. Were you guys a little surprised they weren't already officially back together here?
No, I think the thing is with that is obviously that Keeley and Roy sort a bit, but I feel like in the last episode she was about to sort of just tell Roy as it is, and it feels like they've not actually spoken since that actual moment.
Yeah, it never got resolved, that bit in Jamie's bedroom. Her sleeping with him when Jack left and all that. That's she did the same thing to Jamie, didn't she? Like in season 1, like when something went wrong, she just dragged him in. Yeah, I think it's just a comfort thing, sort of thing. But they were going to have that conversation, and it never happened. And Roy's kind of wanting to go back to it, but that moment's passed now, and the die's been cast.
So Ted's in his office on his phone. There's a GIF of Henry counting down the days till he returns on the calendar. He sends back a GIF from Ghost with Ditto, of course, famous Ghost thing. Beard comes in. Ted says, "What happened to you? I thought you were right behind me." He said, "Jane had a surprise for me." Ted says, "Oh, that's nice." He says, "My passport, which she shredded so that I wouldn't be able to leave the country." And it's like impressively shredded. This passport. Looks like a razor blade was took to it, if I'm being honest.
Probably was, to be fair.
Ooh.
But it's okay because he's got dual citizenship.
Dual citizenship. Here's his triple.
Vatican City's a country, baby.
Yeah. And they both start doing that. That gag happens so many times. Yeah, in this show. Again, paying stuff off, circling back around. Trent comes in and he says, "I can't finish the book until the season ends, obviously. But before you leave, I'd love to get your thoughts. Let me know if there's anything you disagree with." He hands him 2 copies, and it's called The Lasso Way. He goes, "I won't take it out, but I'm happy to tell you where you're wrong." That's great. Wonderful. I love that.
Yeah.
Roy comes in and slams down his bag, yelling "fuck" as loud as he can. Ted says, "Oh, everything okay, Roy?" Roy comes in and says, "How do you know if a girl likes you or not?" Call back to Nate asking his mom and sister, right?
Yep.
Ted says, "Well, that might be a tasty little treat for the Diamond Dogs." And they all start going, doing this. Beard's picking up the receiver like, "Hey," right? Roy's like, "No, no, no." Turns around and says it all the way out the door. "No, no." Beard's like, "So close." And Ted tells him, "Can't wait to dive into this, Trent." And Beard's reading and crossing things out with his pen. Already. Nope. Derivative. Overly prosaic. Nope. Yeah. Trent's like, I'm just going to pop out. He can't take it, right? Keeley's with Higgins and Rebecca, and Keeley asks if Rebecca has any comment about Rupert's divorce from the press, and she does not. She also doesn't want to talk about it with them because she genuinely doesn't care anymore. This is the first time, guys, in 3 years of this show that we've ever seen her genuinely not care anymore.
Yeah.
Great. Higgins brings up who they can hire to replace Ted. He says, "I made a list of the usual suspects, and I threw in a basketball coach from New Zealand just to spice it up a bit." I don't know why it's so funny.
That list of usual suspects is worrying, though, because it's like that it will literally be like journeyman managers. It won't be anyone good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, look how long she didn't exactly spend a lot of time looking for Ted. She chose him for a reason.
Yes.
But like no one really jumping out at him at the time that I can recall when the show began. So she stares at the folder and she doesn't want to talk about it. He then mentions that since they have a guaranteed spot in the Champions League next season, they all 3 cheer like schoolgirls. They've had many requests to buy a piece of the club. All right, Jay.
Yep.
They're about to win the Premier League here. I, like Ted later on, am confused and lost. What does it mean, a guaranteed spot in the Champions League next season?
So basically, it's changed again now. So even I don't understand this quite as well. But at the time of the release of the show, I can talk about that because I know what I'm talking about. So the way the Champions League, even though it's called the Champions League, so it would indicate all the European champions, because of money, as Roy says later in the episode, it's not. It's so in the English league, it's the top 4 teams qualify for it. So the winner and I think second and maybe third they're just seeded in the tournament, and then the 4th place has to actually go through qualification to get there. Then you've got below that the Europa League, which is 6th, 7th, and potential cup winners. So like FA Cup and League Cup winners get a place, if not at 6th or 7th. And then the Europa Conference League, which is again another one below that, which I think is 8th, and I'm sure there's something to do with the best like disciplined team, like the team that gets like the least like booking points, so like yellow cards or red cards, qualify as well. It's just a lot. A lot of it is just for money. It used to be one tournament up until like the late 90s, and then it exploded, and now it's 3 European tournaments, and it's just for money. But
everyone's getting a cut.
But the reason why as well is because it does benefit the teams, because obviously more tickets, it's like double the ticket sales because the games are midweek. It's you've got like obviously TV rights, and you've got obviously like more chance for like merchandising rights, because obviously you get like sponsorships for different parts of like different broadcasting. So there's a ton of money in it, to be fair. What Higgins quotes the value of the club at is very outlandish, though, I will say. I would go off.
Yeah, because he quotes the value of the club at $2 billion.
Nah.
She does a spit take and says, fuck me. Like she's all beside herself. Because she asked about maybe possibly selling the whole thing, which is something I didn't see coming when I watched this show the first time around.
No, but she's losing Ted.
Yeah. I love the line when she says she only got into this to ruin Rupert's life, and he's doing a pretty good job of that all by himself.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Keeley did mention maybe we can get some of those fancy seats, the ones with the heaters like they have at Tottenham. Higgins says, "Oh, they're amazing." In February, you see, I accidentally turned mine on last summer, nearly melted my bottom crack together with a straight face. And they're like, "Oh, right." So, according to the Google machine, kids, for anyone taking notes, the average Premier League club is worth $1.51 billion, according to data compiled by Sportico. Manchester United, for whatever reason, I'm guessing payroll, maybe, I don't know, ranks first at $5.95 billion, while Bournemouth ranks last at $145 million.
Man United, they rank that much because they're the they are the most decorated team in British football ever. Mm-hmm. Until like give City another couple of years, unless the Chargers come in and they lose all the trophies, then we'll revert back to Manchester United. Liverpool aren't far off that either, to be fair. But yeah, I think a lot of it is down to like what they've done in the history, as well as like what they're doing now. Nowadays, I'd say Man United wouldn't be worth close to that, but also based on the actual brand recognition of it and as I say, their legacy, they're probably that inflates the price by a great deal.
And I got one more here for you, because this occurred to me as I'm taking notes. A successful club loses its owner and its coach. I mean, what are we talking about for the next season, Jay? Is that unprecedented? Has it happened occasionally? I mean, how's that work?
It's happened quite recently with Chelsea, where, I mean, all Chelsea's own doing, like, to be fair, but I say their own doing. Their owner was Russian, and he had to sell basically sell the club because there was an embargo against him because of the war. He sold it to basically a conglomeration, and then very, very quickly after him selling it, they got rid of their manager because it just wasn't working, and then they basically struggled to get anywhere since. Really, I think this is the best they're doing since it's happened this season, and I think they're just around the top 4. But yeah, it can be a big thing. I mean, on the flip side of that, Newcastle, they got new owners. The new owners, the writing was on the wall for the manager anyway. He was on his way out. New owners gave him a match to see what he'd be like. He got absolutely thumped, sacked him immediately, brought in the guy he wanted, qualified for the Champions League the following season. So literally, it just depends. I think a lot of it's more down to obviously how the club's run and the kind of culture that the new manager brings into the club, as opposed to just obviously this is a brand new thing. What's going to happen? But that's two examples in recent history of it happening. Obviously, it's. I think, as I say, I think it just all depends on who's brought in, who's like taken over as well. Is the other one, because obviously you could have a good owner who then leaves and you get a terrible owner, or you could have a terrible owner who leaves and you get owners who actually want to run the club like a club and not like a liquidation business. Newcastle. So yeah, it'll, as I say, it'll just depend really.
To your point, Jay, Chelsea is number 6 as we speak, as we record this.
That is the best they've been for quite some time.
Yeah. All right. So also from this, we go down to the pitch, and Ted tells Roy, all right, that's enough. You can call it in. Ted says, and Roy just gives him a look like, really? We're stopping already? And of course, he has to do the whistle, which is awesome.
Oh, yes.
Ted says, I didn't want to make a big deal about this being mine and Beard's last practice. And Roy pats him on the shoulder and says, no problem. Whatever you want. Walks off. Ted and Beard knows something's up, and Ted goes, that was ominous. And Beard says, what the fuck was that? Then he hears music. What the fuck is that? And they both look at the pitch. What the fuck is this? Great. So let's set the scene. Will has a boombox over his head, and Sam is singing. And as the camera pulls back, did you guys notice that demented smile Isaac has? Like, Isaac doesn't smile ever.
Yeah.
It's so good. The guys are all lined up behind them, single file, and you can tell they're there, and they start singing "So Long, Farewell." This is from The Sound of Music, of course, and it's their farewell song. They're all choreographed, and it's a callback, gentlemen, to Dr. Sharon's last episode when the guys do NSYNC's "Bye Bye Bye," and didn't get to do it for her, right?
No.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm not a musical guy, so this is fine. I'm glad that it's funny. But I'm like, man, I don't like musicals. You know what I mean?
It's the choreography is similar to the one in the film, like with them lining up and the popping out and the groups breaking off and stuff. So yeah, I'm assuming they've watched it on a team night.
That's fair. Also in season 3, episode 3, Ted, Trent, Beard, Higgins, and Roy ended up talking about their love of Julie Andrews and her best characters, to which Roy claimed Maria from The Sound of Music.
Well, it also shows Roy mouthing the words along as they're all
right.
As they're watching. I have a feeling that this was all Roy's idea.
Of course, yeah.
And that's like the last little bit that's kind of like getting Roy to where he's going to be by the end of the episode.
You imagine them running through this and Roy on the sidelines going, "No, do it again!" Right, just screaming at him.
More jazz hands.
Yeah,
whistle,
whistle. More jazz hands. The guys do their thing. They leave the pitch as they're finishing their choreography. Danny's the only one left, and then he leaves, and they're all singing goodbye. Even the crowd is singing goodbye.
Goodbye.
And Ted only says, "Thanks, fellas. That was perfect." And they went nuts. And Ted's a little taken aback by this. Him and Beard are looking at each other.
Even Trent took his coat off and whipping it above his head.
They're screaming. I think it's Jan has somebody by the head and he's screaming in his face. Yeah.
Yeah, because the players all line up in the stands, don't they?
Yeah.
They do, yeah. What was funny to me is that Ted is a little taken aback. Like the old Ted would have been like, best thing I've ever seen. But I guess he's got melancholy about leaving too. Like he's a little, right? Emotional.
Still got cold feet about the thing. Like his decision's made, but
sure,
he could still chase. He could still stay.
Like when you when you see later in the episode, and he has the conversation with Rebecca, you can see, and even on the plane, like he's thinking, am I still making the right decision? He doesn't know what his life's gonna be like when he gets back. Is he gonna end up back with Michelle? Is he gonna are they still going to be separated? He's completely in the dark. He's literally going back for Henry.
Yeah. But that's what he said, isn't it? He's he wants to be the father that he never had. Like it's
yeah.
Dude, Trent waving that freaking coat he's like committed to the bit. He's like,
it's Jamie screaming as well. Like it's
Yes.
just a great bit.
Keeley comes in with 2 gift bags. Waterfall by the Stone Roses is playing. She's in a great mood, telling Nate she's glad he's back. She gives Ted and Beard the bags, tells them they can't open them till they're on the plane. She goes in the locker room, and it's a callback to season 1 and her first appearance on the screen. Keeley entered the Greyhounds locker room with her eyes shielded, asking if the men are sufficiently clothed, only to be disappointed when they are. Is everybody decent? Oh, one of these days, right? Great callback.
It's a beautiful, beautiful, like one shot of this as well.
Yeah, it's really good.
It is, yeah. Great camera work here. Yeah. For sure.
They've all got extra PR practice or something.
Mhm.
Like she's back there. She's doing what she used to do. But I don't know whether Keeley Jones Enterprises, whatever it was called.
KJPR.
Yeah.
KJPR,
Is because Rebecca gave her the money for it, but we don't know whether or not that's come through yet. But yeah, so she's working there, and as she leaves, we get Jamie doing one of the coolest things I've ever seen, where he gets his bottle of Lynx, sprays it, throws it, and is it Zorro, whoever is sat next to him, just catches it in midair. It's just like that's nice. And he chases after her.
I may have missed that. I know that he got
It's a little tiny bit, but it was just.
That's that whole scene's inspired by Birdman, isn't it? It's like a continuous shot, but it's like following people and then switching and.
Yeah.
Always Sunny did that one scene as well where it was like I think they won an award for it. Where like
the Charlie work.
Charlie work, yeah, where he's literally like cleaning the bar and it's following him around and he keeps because of like in Birdman the way like he does stuff and it goes to like the drum beat. He keeps like slamming his stool down on the floor to try and like fix it, and then he like carries on and yeah.
It's not the way they're trying to sell eggs or something. There's some scam they're trying to do.
It's
always a scam.
Yeah,
it's the one where they've got the health and safety inspector coming.
That's the one.
And they're trying to do a scam with eggs.
That's the one, yeah. I need to go back and rewatch it.
They're trying to start like a chicken farm in the basement or something, and there's like Charlie's putting out fires as they're just doing antics.
The player sitting beside Jamie is the unnamed African American player that we never know who he is.
Oh, okay.
You know that little guy?
Yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah.
I think he ever gets a name.
There was a couple of players in this one where you see them a little bit more prominently, but they'd never
been
get
named.
a name.
Yeah.
I think someone gets named right at the end. Someone like
Beard, isn't it?
Beard says it's difficult to do the toboggan without.
Oh, I don't have that in my notes, but now I remember it. Yeah, I can
meant to
find
write
it.
it down, but yeah. But then he goes and talks to Jamie's trying to wheedle his way back in. He's going to Brazil to shoot a trainer advert or something.
I can't say I took that from this, and then later we get what we get, and I'm like, it's a little disappointing that he's not quite let go yet. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's because like she's in the Manchester one, she's the one who's trying to like help him out, and I think she's the person who's always first and foremost seeing the good in him. She just knows he's got a lot of kind of growth to get there. But in like deep down, he's not a prick anymore. He's realized he can be a good person, and I think she's like part of it's down to again like with her like kind of like giving him the talk about embracing Ted's vision and kind of getting your head out your arse and realizing you're part of a team. You're not part of like you're not just one man. So yeah, I think that's why. But like it has always kind of been alluded to. Just obviously now it's like it does feel a little bit ham-fisted the way they've kind of done it.
Yeah, I just the fact that he gives her that weird hug, but then like again with the Michael Myers thing, you see you see Roy's like silhouette in the background get progressively closer, like on a skateboard, just sidling up like as they walk away. And
speaking about the camera work, the camera goes around them as they're talking in the hallway. Wonderful stuff. Yeah. Well, and when they hug, and I thought Roy's going to be there as soon as they move, and boom, there he was.
It's literally like it's literally because it is all one shot. It's focusing on the person who's like most. So it starts with Trent, doesn't it, walking past Keeley, and it's Keeley coming. He says, "Keeley, like love those boots," and then she comes down the stairs, and she does the whole walk through. Says hello to Roy, then she gives Ted the beard the
bags. Yeah.
Then she goes in the dressing room, and then as she walks past, it then focuses on Jamie, who then does this bit, goes round, talks to her, and then it shifts again. So Roy's becoming the focal point, and then Roy's walks through and goes to speak to Jamie, like follows Jamie into the dressing room.
Do you want to go for a beer later? You said I'm not allowed beer, but you're with me, so you get a pass. It's like
when he power walked in that locker room, I'm like, he's gonna kill him.
I thought he was gonna kill him.
Yeah.
But no, Roy's, he's grown up a bit. But then I was like, he's just gonna murder him when he goes for a drink.
Of course, hide the body later. Nate sees this and asks if they're friends now. James says, "Yeah, I think so." Wonderful, lovely. That's what he said.
Lovely.
We go
to genuinely like pleased about it though. That's the sad thing, like about where it's going. It's like, oh,
yeah, and then it finds out. Yeah. Nate's really happy too. Like, hey, all right, yeah. We go to the Crown and Anchor. I love this bit. As the camera is coming in, Paul has come in to Baz and Jeremy, and Jeremy is asking, "What pose should I use? I just signed up for banter." So he's putting his profile on his phone.
Yeah.
So much little stuff they shove into these little nooks and crannies of this show. You know what I mean?
This last episode is just. It's like the airplane of Easter eggs. It's just throwing as much stuff in, but it all lands because it's all stuff we care about. But the fact that he signed up to banter.
It's obviously as well. It's like kind of setting up to like the payoff of the scene, isn't it?
Yeah,
like it's very very like subtle thing of just like emphasizing that they're there, which
they're always
you expect it because they're always there, but. It is just like emphasizing that they're there at that moment.
I mean, Paul is the most dateable of the three of them because you can't really say that about Baz and Jeremy. Women would be like, right. Of course, if Beard found somebody.
Yeah, there's a person out there for everyone.
I thought we were about to do fuck, marry, kill for Paul, Baz, and get Jeremy there.
As
You'd
the
marry Paul.
As the Mr. T experience said. Even Hitler had a girlfriend. Yeah.
It's true.
Christ. It's true. Wow. Wow. So Rebecca's there with her mom, and they're talking. She said, when your father died, I was terrified of being alone, but now I've learned so much about myself in this last year, and I've been right all along, I really am exceptional. I don't know why it's so funny.
It's because she's gone full mad, hasn't she?
And Rebecca's just like you can tell she's doing it because she's obliged to do it, not because she's like like she's just entertaining her mum at this point. She's not like
because her mum's going to get a tattoo later. She's taking up skateboarding. Like she's just going through like a third life crisis.
Yeah,
third life crisis. I like that. Third life crisis. She goes, Mother, you know that Ted isn't dying. He's just moving back to America. Oh, you say potato. You say potato. I'm like, what? Rebecca says, I've been thinking about selling the club. Is that crazy? She goes, no, I love it. Go for it. Take the money and run. Explore the world. More importantly, explore yourself. Rebecca says, I had a dream last night. I was a cabaret singer in Japan. She goes, shut up. No, you're giving me chills. I had exactly the same dream. Oh, you were a dentist in Taiwan, but still.
Rebecca same
says, thing. Oh, well, potato. I'm like, what are we doing? Rebecca
says, I never told you my story about the potato.
No.
I'll tell you later. It's a very long story. Basically, someone went to an audition and did let's call the whole thing off, but they clearly never heard it sang.
Oh.
So they just did potato, tomato.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, then you're actually going, ooh.
Tough crowd.
Rebecca says, you going to the match on Sunday? And she goes, oh, sausage, I can't. I'm sorry. I've been wanting to get a tattoo, so I'm meeting with a specialist who can remove it if I hate it.
Yep. Why not?
But I did see Tish the other day. She told me who's going to win the game. Do you want to know? Oh, I've had more than enough of Tish's bloody predictions last me a lifetime. Thank you very much. Please do tell her that she's a fraud that preys on people's weaknesses. That's exactly what she said you'd say.
Yeah, because that's what she said to her every time she's seen her.
Because Rebecca is right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you something.
Although
she happened to be right about.
Yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, Tish was right like pretty much every time, annoyingly.
Rebecca won't admit it. Yeah.
I resent admitting it, to be fair.
Yeah.
You make your predictions vague enough, anything can be. Yeah.
That's fair as well.
It's called cold reading.
Yes.
It is. May comes up and asks if they need anything else. And her mom says, "I'd just like some peace of mind for my daughter and all of her generation." She goes, May says, "Oh, must be awful for him, lying awake at night, haunted by how fucking easy they've had it." And it's hysterical, the laugh that they have.
Boomer. Yeah.
I did laugh the way May like proper like go
fully in it.
They're cackling. Right?
May's such a good character though.
Wish I could have bought my house for 20 quid. Yeah.
I know, right?
The guys turns out Bass Paul and Jeremy have paid their check, and they come up thanking Rebecca for everything she's done for the club. Paul says, she's like the mother they never had. And her mom says, "Oh, that's weird because I'm like the mother she's never had." What the fuck does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything. But then it's Baz that goes, "So you're like the grandmother, Jeremy. You got the grandmother we never had." No,
it doesn't. Like, she's very upset at that. Yeah.
It's when they're walking away and Baz is like, "You fucked that up. Why'd you have to say that?"
I do that. They are their own little storyline, just walking around.
Yeah. Again, if you do get a 4, I want to see a bit more of them.
I want them to have like their own like episode.
Yes, I like to see them involved with the team in some capacity.
The shareholders, so they'd be part of the shareholders meetings.
Shareholders. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm here for it.
Well, actually, there'll be. Oh, what would it be?
They'd be postal votes or something, wouldn't they?
It wouldn't be shareholders. It would be, even though they are shareholders, it would be like the fan association or something like that.
Yeah, it's one share.
So, yeah, a lot of clubs will have like, if they've got like, if the fans have shares in the clubs, or if some clubs will just like do it just as like a courtesy. They'll have like on the board like a fan representative, or like they'll have for like certain meetings like a fan association representative who basically is gonna ask all the questions, like get a lot of questions together from the fans and ask what everyone's kind of thinking, usually about like signings or questioning the manager or stadium or whatever, or ticket prices. It's always
the same thing.
It's basically just it's just kind of giving the fans a bit of a voice within the boardroom, so it's not like just like a soulless company.
That makes sense. I was going to ask you about that later, how this works, but because I got questions, we'll definitely get into it.
It all depends on the club, really, but that's my general understanding of it.
That makes sense, actually. Yeah, this is the bit where she tells her that she's learned to skateboard. Like, nothing could surprise her, Rebecca, at this point, honestly. Rebecca's heard
you any good at it? No, but I will be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying.
I admire your moxie.
Yeah. So at Ted's office, Trent is watching him read the book. And when Ted laughs, he gets very excited. So you do laugh, but you don't do it until page 43. It wasn't even a big laugh. That was more of a loud nose breath and exhale.
I love the fact that this is again like a full circle moment where obviously there's the episode which introduces Trent, where Trent's like following Ted round and he's writing the story about him for the paper. And like he's not really trying to impress Trent. He's just trying to show Trent like what he wants to bring to the club, and
it's just Ted doing Ted stuff, isn't it? Yeah,
just show him the man he is. And like now the roles are reversed, and like Trent's looking for approval from Ted, and he's like, I think as well because Trent's like because he's always been writing about other people, he's never really had to kind of like seek their approval on it. He's just had to like he's wrote about them, he's said stuff, and then he's like, that's that. It's next article.
On the next now, one. Yeah.
This is like literally like almost like his magnum opus, I guess. He's been working on it for a year. He's literally like got lucky in the sense that he thought it was just going to be an interesting story following Richmond, like as they're trying to stay up, and now they're like literally fighting for the Premier League, and and for him, I think as I say, it's like a massive full circle moment, because he's gone from being sort of like treated by Roy as like sort of like an outsider to being fully embraced as like a member of the club.
Mm. Yeah,
and Ted's respect really matters to Trent too.
Mm.
It matters to him.
Well, it's him that told him the leak, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As a journalist, I can't tell you, but as a friend, it was Nate.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Really good stuff. And Ted tells him, look, I know folks are divided on the actual police these days, but all human beings are opposed to the laugh police. It's a weird line. Trent says, yeah, sorry. I just want you to like it. I'll leave you be. They tell each other good night. We get to see one more shot of Bones and Honey. They couldn't leave it out. It's fine. Shadows featuring Debbie Harry by Future Islands is playing as Jamie stares at his beer for a second and then turns it straight up and damn near kills it. Roy sees this. And Jamie's like, worth the wait.
So much wet drinking noise. I hate it.
So it should be noted here, Jamie became the brand ambassador for Darsteiner Beer in season 1, episode 5.
You did.
So there you go.
Do you want me to hold it like this? Yeah.
That's right. Like a baby. My beer bee.
They're in Bones and Honey as well. Where nothing good happens in Bones and Honey.
Beard's Night Out is the only good thing that happens.
Beard's Night Out goes west in Bones and Honey.
Yeah, it does actually, doesn't
it? That's where everything starts going wrong when they get to Bones and Honey.
Yep,
it goes.
Right.
It only goes great for Baz, Paul, and Jeremy because they make friends with the rich guys who realize, who become like, oh yeah, come, we don't care that you like poor, just come to like our rich like summer home because you're cool guys.
That's something else they could explore down the road with a season 4 is just random conversations. Oh, we had a blast this weekend or something. You know what I mean? Like,
we went and hung out with Jonty, Bonty, and Cuthbert
on his yacht.
And he's played croquet.
Yeah. That's awesome. I freaking love that. Again, none of this is real, and I love it.
No, but you're making up things because of the universe is so well written.
Yes.
Yeah. Three times we go to Bones and Honey. We have That Happens a Beard. We have Nate with Rupert.
Yep.
And then we've got Roy and Jamie here.
I think there is another one somewhere, but
there is another one. I just can't think what it is.
I think it's another Rupert and Nate one. I think.
I feel like it might be. Yeah, it is because it's Rupert introducing
Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Yeah.
Anastasia. Yes. Yeah. Really good stuff. Roy tells him he's proud of him, and Jamie thanks him for motivating and encouraging him. He's never really had that from an older man in his life, and Roy just side eyes him. He's like, no. Real talk, man. Thank you. And I'm like, this is the best thing ever. Until Roy says, and look, I know you've got a lot of feelings for Keeley. I just hope none of that shit ever gets in the way of our friendship. Yeah, no, man. Yeah, no, me too. That's good. Because me and Keeley are started talking again. Jamie says, oh, yeah? Yeah, just easing into it. But she is a woman, so you never know, right? Jamie says, is nothing official between the two of you? No, but it is happening. I want you to know because I don't want you to get hurt. So I think it's best if you just step aside. And I almost thought Jamie was messing with him just because he likes to have fun with Roy, but he's like, no.
No.
Fuck do you mean no?
But again, I think with this as well, it shows that like they've come a long way from that time where they're having the drink at the bar and for the children.
Yeah.
And it's Roy basically telling Jamie how he needs to be a better man and how he can be a better man. And it's literally the start of them getting to this point. And then it all, funnily enough, that argument in the first one started over Keeley bidding for Roy. And then like Roy basically trying to Or does he actually convince Keeley to break up with Jamie there and then?
I'm not.
She breaks up with Jamie in that episode, doesn't she?
At the end, that's more of his doing than anything else, though, wasn't it?
But it's again, it's like whenever they butt heads properly, it's always to do with Keeley.
It's true. Yeah, you're right. The rest of their stuff is just typical dude stuff, can be settled.
Yeah,
right?
the rest of the stuff is like the grizzled veteran and like the young like guy who's coming for his place.
Yeah.
And obviously Roy. But again, a lot of it I feel like is just that Roy sees the promise in Jamie, but he just knows Jamie needs to get his attitude in check. Whereas when they actually properly want to come to blows, it's always to do with Keeley.
It's true. He says, James says, I mean, if the two of you ain't official, then I ain't stepping aside. He says, why not? Because I know in my heart that me and Keeley are meant to be together. Keeley, excuse me.
Keeley.
Roy says, fuck off. You're a child. He goes, you fuck off. You're a hairy old prune. Don't forget, I was with her first. Roy says, yeah, I was with her last. It's been a year, mate. It's been a month, mate. And then Jamie has to hit him with that video of her that got leaked. She made it for me.
Yeah.
It's like the old Jamie coming out there, which.
Yeah. Good call.
But again, it's like, it's just a situation like that. They're both drinking. They're both like obviously very passionate about Keeley, and they're both very emotional about it. And I think Roy is basically trying to say, look, I'm trying to mend things with Keeley. Do you mind sort of stepping back? But the way he's kind of gone about it is very Roy and very like
blunt,
very blunt, but also like very head first into it. He's gone in it with the delicacy of headbutting Jamie essentially.
They both still have, yeah. They both still have the old them. Like Roy's sticking his chest out right now, being the alpha male. Yeah. Well, we figure it's not going to end well, and we'll find out later it did not end well.
Boink Studios is the home of Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Visit the site today for links to every podcast platform, social media, special announcements, and a lot more. Check out the site and bookmark today, boinkstudios.com.
We go to Ted in the stands. This moment is huge. We can't sell it enough to you kids. This is how we begin every episode of this show. Ted in the stands at AFC Richmond at the dog track. And Rebecca comes up. She said, I'm ready to talk about it now. Ted calls her over and she sits down beside him. She says, I've decided to sell the club. If you go, I go. There is another option. We both stay. I respect that you need to go home to your son, Ted, but I just want you to consider the possibility that this is your home. Henry could come here and live here and go to one of the best schools in the world and enjoy the life-changing experience of being in another country. Michelle can come here and teach, get fully qualified, and go home as a department head. Higgins has said, if I sell 49% of the team, I can afford to make you one of the highest paid coaches in the league. I know people say I'm crazy, but I still think I'd be underpaying you for what you mean to this club. Would you please stay? He hasn't talked this whole time. She says, no. This is the part when you say you need
when
to
he mentions Michelle,
yes,
he does, his face does a little double take.
Yep.
Because he doesn't know where that is.
Yeah. You think maybe in that moment the Rebecca character kind of knew, there's still a chance there. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder.
After all the parish stuff, Well, Ted's gonna sort it out.
She got someone like Ted got her to get someone to follow them Paris.
Yes.
So she's probably seen that they just didn't have a good time because you can tell by the end of this episode that they're on the rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, because he's a whammer. Yeah, but
he is a gobshite.
Yeah.
This scene's so it's such a good performance from Hannah Wanigan because she does such a good job of kind of conveying Rebecca's insecurity about people leaving her, because that's literally how the show started. Her handling someone leaving her who's important in her life terribly, and then again, later on in the show, we have when her dad dies, and it's another important man in her life leaving her, and now the one constant there has always been Ted, and now he's doing the exact same thing. I think that's why she's.
But it's the self-destructive aspect of it. Well, if you go, I'm going to sell it as well.
Yeah.
But I think like a lot of that is just down to obviously it, like Ted's the reason she's passionate about it.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, it is very self-destructive. It's also like in a scene like this where it's just Ted and Rebecca. I'm pretty sure it's like one of the only scenes of this length anyway where Rebecca does most of the talking and Ted barely says a word.
Yep. Doesn't do any Ted bits. Yeah.
No bits.
No, he laughs a little bit. And he's quite like sort of like sorrowful at times, but she literally just she's even doing like little bits here and there, but it's such a good scene.
Yeah. It's he says just like, I can't stay.
This is the first time I got emotional watching this.
And she goes, yeah. I know, but I had to try.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
very emotional. It's a big moment. I didn't want us to just breeze past it. Plus, it's the thumbnail for this episode because I wanted to pick a moment that was summed up the show. And I can't say the entire show is about Ted and Rebecca, but the duality of both characters as their journeys go, you can kind of say the show's about two primary characters and finding themselves.
That's the core of it, yeah.
So yeah,
but it's just that thing of it's a sort of turnaround of their characters. That Ted's just sitting there, and it is one of those. This is why they should never have slept together, because then that adds an extra layer of nonsense into this, and it doesn't need. It's just pure respect, and it's like I can't do this without you. I don't want to do this without you.
I think her bringing up Michelle as well, kind of like, for anyone who had any doubt as to whether they slept together at the start of the episode, that's like, well, she absolutely wouldn't bring up Michelle.
No.
If she'd slept with Ted.
Yeah.
Good point. Great points here. Well done. So she says, I was thinking about I could just travel abroad. He says, eat, pray, love style. Am I right? She goes, more like drink, sleep, fuck. Which is interesting line coming from her in that moment, but it's still fun. So
she's free. She's got no baggage now, though, has she? She's over Rupert, so just go and, like her mum said, just go and find yourself.
Yeah. Roy and Jamie show up to Keeley's door, and they're in a bad shape. Can we say that Roy won that fight? Because the fact that Roy's shirt is torn is Jamie holding on for dear life as Roy's pummeling him. Do you know what I mean?
Jamie's got all blood down his shirt as well.
Yes.
So.
You know what though? I think it's literally been I think it's literally been Jamie's grabbed Roy's collar, Roy's punched him, and then they both, in their single brain, just gone, let's just go and talk to Keeley and ask her.
Let her decide.
Yeah.
Even then, like it's the same thing like with Roy, where he's just he's got the right intentions with a lot of like his approach, like what he wants to do. It's just the actual execution's terrible.
Yeah.
Like when he talks to Keeley, like a couple of episodes ago when the leak comes out, and he can't help himself asking. It's like he tried to be supportive. He did the absolute right thing. Then shut up and let her just then just give her your shoulders to cry on, sort of thing.
Intrusive thoughts, man.
Yeah, and then obviously here it's just like fucking hell, lads.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, Roy looks at Jamie and goes, he's fine. And they go in. She goes, all right, you gonna tell me what happened? Did you stop a mugging? Rescue some puppies from a burning building? Jamie says, we got in a fight about you. Roy says, we got in a fist fight over who gets to be with you. Jamie says, we just thought, what are we, Neanderthals? Roy says, yeah, and we're not. So we're not. And we came up with a better idea. Keeley's like, please don't say it.
Please don't say it.
You should just pick. You pick which one of us you want to end up with, and then that's that. Jamie says, bish, bash, bosh. Bob's your uncle. Keeley says, "So I get to choose," and I'm like, "Oh, you lost her. It's over."
Mate, as soon as she went, "Don't say it."
Yeah,
I was like, "She's not into this. Nobody would be into this."
No.
terrible idea. What a terrible idea this was. This was probably the dumbest thing both of them have done individually or collectively in the 3 seasons of this show.
But the thing is, they thought this is smart.
That's
this is big brain thinking.
Jamie and Roy's brain trust of.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just let Keeley decide for us?
They're like, yeah.
Which again, like the way you do that is you say, look, we both still have feelings for you. Is it going to happen with either of us? Is there a chance of it? Or should we move on?
Yeah.
That's the adult way of doing it. Not
pick
we
one of
think
us.
we think you can choose who you get to be with.
Yeah.
Oh, those fucking lovable idiots.
And of course, the next scene is them walking outside. Keeley shut the door behind them.
Then Jamie going, should we get food?
We're fucking idiots.
Idiots.
Yeah.
Are you hungry? No.
Well, you're still in training, but you can watch me eat a kebab.
Watch me eat a kebab. And then he goes, I'm getting chicken. It's just last act of defiance.
I mean, to be fair, the kebab's probably better than the chicken.
I don't know. Chicken's lean, though, isn't it? But
yeah, but in a kebab shop, it's probably going to be fried chicken, isn't it?
No, like tandoori chicken.
Oh yes, but I didn't
like chicken tikka on a elephant leg. Yeah,
I didn't think of chicken tikka. Yeah, that'd probably be a bit better.
Oh, you mean fried chicken then? Yeah, but
I was just assuming because it was a kebab house, it was probably fried chicken.
No. Like, yeah.
By the way, we got stuff we're going to share with you about the series review. Food reminded me.
We sure have.
If my stomach's up to it, yeah.
If Joe, I mean, to be fair, we've got a few weeks after this.
I know, but
if you're not well next week still,
I've not turned myself inside out by then.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think this just like kind of makes them both realize as well that they still got a lot of work to do on themselves.
Oh yeah.
But like it's one of those things where they've both gone about it the absolute wrong way, but I think they both have learned from it as opposed to
it's as soon as they get outside. Like when they were going in, they're like big brain thinking, she'll love this. And then when they get outside, they'll go, that was the stupidest fucking thing we could have ever done. Like,
yeah.
It's just that moment of taking a step and going, no. That's a terrible idea. What would Ted do?
What would Ted do? We get to the second emotional moment of the show for me at the dog track. Nate's staring at the wall where the believe sign used to be. Ted scares him to death when he walks in. It's a very awkward moment. They're both looking at the wall. Nate apologizes to him, and I was gone. He goes to hug him. Man, Nick Muhammad is a fucking legend. He
says, Ted, I just need to say something. And Ted just goes, it's okay. You don't have to. No, let me say it. I'm so sorry, Ted.
Yeah.
And hugs him. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Ted, by the way, Ted doing Ted stuff. The very thing his mom's always done since he was a kid. No, it's fine. You don't have to say it. No, let him speak. Right?
Yeah. Closure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He had to apologize on his own terms. Like,
yes.
It's like when he's writing the letter in the last episode, and Jay's like just like editing it for him, and like need to have wrote an essay, and in the end, he doesn't. All he needs to say is, "I'm sorry, I fucked up," and then Ted like kind of just instantly forgiving him, like, and again making it like a Tedism where it's like, yeah, I've ripped it up more than you. It's not that big a deal to them anymore.
It wasn't the letter 65 pages, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, and then Jane was doing a beard, redacting a load of stuff in it. Like...
Yeah, Ted tells him that he ripped it up. He tore it down and ripped it up 2 times. He goes, did you really? He goes, yeah, so you're already in the clear, you know? And he said, but I'll tell you, when I look up there, I still see it. Was that weird? He goes, no, that's lovely. So, again, very emotional moment. And we go from this to game day. And we get to game day 30 minutes into the hour episode.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't take long to get there. Yep. And it's again, this is where things start coming together, folks. In Between Days by Ben Folds 5 is playing. By the way, Ben Folds 5 is a freaking awesome band.
Yep.
As the fans arrive for the game, and then we see Shannon walk into the stadium. We haven't seen her since season 1. Actually, she first premiered season 1, episode 2. Was the last time. Well, not the last time. The first time we saw her was season 1, episode 2. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is her final appearance, of course, at least for now. Chris and Arlo were on the call. Arlo's saying AFC Richmond was founded in 1897, and since then the team have been a picture of mediocrity. They've been up, they've been down, mostly down, and the club's history, what they've never come close to, what they could achieve today, a Premier League title. Fate is not entirely in their hands. Their adversaries in Manchester have the final say, but the Richmond faithful are here to applaud their team for what they've already accomplished and see if the miraculous season can become transcendent. Michael, Colin's boyfriend, comes to the window. He has a ticket waiting on him under the name Winona Judd.
Yep.
This is a callback to season 2, episode 1, Goodbye Earl. Roy's always got a ticket waiting for him at the will call, and he's under the alias Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton, and Shania Twain.
Yep.
So
it's good.
We see
Mr. Man and his grandson.
Did I miss Mr. Man and his grandson? Oh,
yeah.
maybe I did.
But everyone's flooding in. He just comes running down the stairs, like, yeah.
I will miss them.
One thing I will say, but obviously I understand for like the story purpose of why they didn't do it. But Baz, Jeremy, and Paul being at the actual game, I would have liked.
They
to
never are.
That. No, that's what I mean. Because it's like the one where they might win the league.
Yeah, you'd think, but
it would have. Because
I don't think we never see them at his game.
No, we don't.
Mr. Man's probably a ticket holder. He probably can afford it.
He's in the pub a lot of the time though when they're watching the match.
I don't know, but yeah, throughout all of it, like for such big fans, they've never been to a game.
Yeah.
Well, we saw the couple from the rom-com episode who were talking directly to the camera. They show up.
Yep.
They're in the
random
stands.
Fucking bit from that episode.
And then, fucking love this. John Wing's night with Jessica Darling. They're walking off, and he's like, "You see the way that guy stared at me?" And she's like, "Absolute psychopath."
John Wing's night and Jessica Darling are the most ridiculous characters in the entire show.
I love it.
They're fucking.
Again, it's just very much a get everyone back for this episode.
To be fair, I do chuckle whenever he shows up because he's absolutely the worst.
And he is. I'm checking his scarf. No, it's just AFC Richmond scarf. He doesn't have it split.
He's
because as we established in the previous episode, split skirts are for wankers.
Yep.
True.
Yeah.
I freaking love it. Last time we saw them was season 3, episode 5. This season, Rebecca runs into them and finds out they're engaged.
In the coffee shop. Yeah.
Yep.
Lads but also pub. As well in that first episode when he's when he's on the double date with Roy and he's like, "Oh, I support Manchester United or Manchester City, whichever one's winning more games." Winning.
Yeah.
And now he's like a full-blown Richmond fan.
Yeah, for now, right?
Well,
but the fact that Man City won the Premier League, I love Man City.
He'll be burning his Richmond shirt outside the ground and put the City one on.
Right. The lads are at the pub wondering what they're going to do if Richmond wins. What do we have left to strive for, dream for? May says, making a real connection with someone and starting a family. And the guy goes, yeah. And they turn around and Bass says, boring. Like, awesome. We go to Michelle's house. She's watching with Henry, and Dr. Jake comes in. Who's ready to spend the next 2 hours of their lives watching this game until it eventually ends up in an exciting 0-0 tie? So, interesting here. This was Tom. I'm not going to lie. I've never been a fan of this sport. Buddy, I am now, thanks to this show. And because some of us as adults can try to keep an open mind. So I'm like, I'm going to, right? I enjoy it now. Like, is 0-0 fun to watch? Not specifically, right? But like,
it depends how back and forth the game is.
Yeah, exactly. It's just everyone just mucking about in midfield. Then no.
If everyone's just like defending, it's shit. But if it's like back and forth and chance after chance, well, you've got goalkeeper who's playing great.
Yeah,
same as any sport. Any sport can be boring.
That's fair.
It could be rollerball and it'd be rubbish, but like.
That's true.
By the way, as Sharon is watching, she's watching in her flat. You notice she's wearing a Dallas Cowboys sweatshirt. Where in the world did she get that thing? And who the hell gave it to her? Like,
gift from Ted, probably.
Got to be from Ted,
Well,
right?
Well, not necessarily, because she's a sports psychologist. So her role is that she goes to different teams. So she could have literally been
over there.
And if she's as renowned as she says she is, which she like literally is like, look, I'm the best around in the first episode, then she's probably has been there at some point.
That's fair. By the way, did you notice when Jake says what he says, they both kind of go, ha, 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 like the honeymoon, metaphorically speaking, between him and Michelle is over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She's annoyed.
Michelle's breaking up with him by the end of this episode.
Oh, yeah.
By the end of that game of football, probably.
Yeah. I think you should leave. Yeah. So, by the way, I screenshot that the score is there. So, Man City has 76 points. Richmond has 75. Arsenal have 74. Newcastle 73, and West Ham 72. That's your top 5 for this. So there you go. At Ted's office, he's once again trying to talk his way through the leagues and how all this works. We've seen this for 3 seasons. This is a great. This is awesome.
Good bit though. Yeah, it's a great callback to it. Because what was it? When we went down last year, we were in and Bear's like championship.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, but we came back, and this is the Premiership. And it goes around like Higgins is there as well. But if we do well, we can go into something called the Champions League. Make it make sense.
Awesome.
It doesn't.
That don't make no sense. Y'all are telling me to get into the Champions League, you can finish as low as Trent says 4th place. That don't make no sense. Why? Roy goes, money. Okay, see, now that makes sense.
Yeah.
That quickly. Nate comes in to wish them good luck. He says, I just wanted to wish you all good luck, to wish you 2 good luck for the last time. Last time this season. It's not the last time you ever have good luck. No need for it to become a cautionary tale. I'm not trying to cast a spell or anything.
Okay,
It says, I got you, Nate. It's fine. Thank you. All right. They all look around and realize that this feels very familiar. And all 6 of them are in the room. It's very cool. And Trent offers to leave and give them the room. And Ted says, you stay put, Trent House Magazine. I really like that.
Yeah.
You're part of the squad now. It all gets quiet. And suddenly, without warning, as I said at the beginning, Roy says, can I be a diamond dog? And they look around, right?
Again, everyone does the bit.
Everyone's in on the bit, though. All of them. Like Trent, Nate, Ted and Beard, Higgins.
What are you doing? We're looking for hidden cameras because it's got to be some kind of prank show.
When the bit started, did you see how Nate went, what? Oh, and then he knew what they were. Oh, yeah. He looked outside the door, right?
I'm pretty sure it's this bit, like, because I wouldn't be surprised if like they just didn't tell like the team while they're like just doing extra stuff in the back. Because like it's when Nate opens the door and you see like Jamie looks directly at Nate like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
And then as soon as he shuts it, and then they start like doing the like barking, you just see him just start laughing and just walk off.
That's really good. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So Ted says, yeah, Sam, we're looking for cameras. We think we're on a prank show. Nate says, yeah, that's it. That's where I'm at. Roy says, I'm not fucking around here. Like, he's intense. They all get the hint, and Ted says, all right, Diamond Dogs mount up. And they all have to go, and it takes forever, by the way. Roy says, for the past year, I've busted my fucking ass trying to change, but apparently I haven't done fucking shit because I'm still me. Ted says, wait, did you want to be someone else? He goes, yeah, someone better. Can people change? Trent raises his hand, and Ted goes, like to say you've got the floor. That's so weird.
Hold the fish.
Yeah. He says, I don't think we can change per se as much as we just learn to accept who we've always been, you know? Roy's like, And he says, oh, no, I think people can change. They can. You know, sometimes for the worse and sometimes for the better. Roy says, not me. I'm still the same fucking idiot I've always been. Ted says, agree to disagree, big guy. I mean, come on, man. He only ever calls his son big guy. Didn't we point that out in an episode?
Yeah.
You just piped up. Didn't we say that he calls him big guy in front of other people to help make him feel good about himself or something?
Well, it's pumping up. It's acknowledgement of It's the kebab man calling you big boss man. Yeah.
Yeah, he says you just piped up out of nowhere and finally asked to become a diamond dog. Pretty big change, if you ask me, right, Phyllis? And they all agree. And Beard says, change isn't about trying to be perfect. Perfection sucks. Perfect is boring. Ted says, I mean, except Shawshank, that's not boring. Yeah, well, that's true. Beard says, I mean, there are perfect films. Back to the Future, Jaws. Yeah, and they all do the AFC Richmond team where they're all agreeing with everything.
Yeah, they end up talking about jacket potatoes and like.
Potatoes, beans, and cheese. Oh, that sounds good to be
like Juliet Binoche's eyes and stuff, like just random stuff.
It's so
yes,
good.
But
Trent says the other side of the pillow. Ooh, that absolutely is perfect. Yeah, and then Roy has to finish it up with Billy Joel's "The Stranger" album. Oh yeah, no, that's perfect. Beard says yes, there are perfect works of art. There are perfections all around us everywhere we look. The mighty redwood. But I was talking about perfection in people. Like Beard's ready to wrap this up. Higgins says, human beings are never going to be perfect, Roy. The best we can do is keep asking for help and accepting it when you can. And if you keep on doing that, you'll always be moving towards better. Beard does the pointing thing and Ted whistles. Add that right there to our list of perfect stuff. And they thank him. Roy thanks him, and they all start growling, and Roy just goes, rough. Anyone else want to go? Nate says, I've got a girlfriend. They all go,
I love though, as soon as like Roy's like past the floor to someone else, he's fully in that.
Oh, okay, he's going, yeah.
Like a dog.
It's great. They're all doing the hat, man. Says she actually is perfect. So we get our first glimpse now, kids, of Rupert in this episode. He is in the hallway. Did everyone notice that he's walking with a limp? Am I the only one that saw this?
I did notice that. I was going to say, what happened there? Do you think he's like...
I did not do my due diligence and look it up.
Is it to symbolize his fall from grace, maybe?
Or that...
Maybe the actor had something happen? I don't know.
I was just... Or that Thingy booted him in the nads, like, before she left.
Could have been.
Or it could be the Weinstein, oh, I'm old and frail, I can't be evil, that kind of thing.
It was around that point.
You know what I mean? But
I mean, it lends itself fantastically to something that happens later that he's limping.
Yeah,
it does.
But it wouldn't fit for his character to be seen as weak. So I think it might have just been like Anthony Stewart Head had hurt his leg or something.
I don't know. I feel like it's like visually, it is like this again. It's like the metaphor that he's fallen from grace.
He's falling apart.
You know what it fucking is? It's another Star Wars reference. It's fucking Palpatine getting all disfigured before he becomes the Emperor.
You know, I love what you're saying, but it does appear like they're doing their best to hide that limp. Like it's very subtle, and then like when he's on the pitch, it's obviously a body double from a distance.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking, I wonder if he hurt. You could be right, Jay, but I don't know.
I'm
one
checking.
Of those mysteries. One of those mysteries.
I meant to look that up, but I totally forgot. By the way, he's speaking to Cartrick, who evidently has taken Nate's spot as the new coach of West Ham. Oh my God.
As Jay said, he's one of them ones that will just show up for the paycheck.
Yeah. He says, don't worry, I won't let you lose to your ex-wife. I mean your first ex-wife. I mean your previous, your most recent ex-wife. You know what I mean? Rupert says, just beat them.
But this is the good bit. All this is done from like chest height up. And as Rupert turns around, George is there, and it just shows him in these ridiculously high 70s football shorts, like beanbag cutters. Yeah,
ugh. That'll come back. Yeah. You got anything on that, Jay?
Nah, I can't find anything just yet.
It could be that you're right. They've just worked it into the show. So
that probably is.
As Rupert walks down the hallway, by the way, camera work. Incredible. The camera's blurred and it comes into focus. That trench coat's flowing like Darth Vader's cape, man. It's freaking wonderful.
That's why I thought it was like a Star Wars thing, because obviously like Vader and Palpatine both get like injured before they're sort of they go fully to the dark side, which is what he's doing when he's walking down to push George over later on.
Yeah, and he it could be it that physically they want him to manifest the trouble he's going through physically, like he's hurt. Yeah. Ooh. So we hear Arlo's voice as he's walking down the hallway, and he says, "We have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Unsavory allegations of sexual impropriety have Rupert Mannion on the brink of losing his club. But the truth is, a win today puts the Hammers into the Champions League, a feather in Mannion's cap that could keep him in power a little longer." Jay, if you're the owner of the club, forgive the dumb question because maybe my brain's scrambled at the time of day it is here, but how do you lose your club if you're the flat out owner? Who are you reporting to? Are we talking about who? I mean,
I feel like he's probably not he's probably the majority owner. He's probably not like the fact that obviously Rebecca's about to sell like part of the club to the fans. He's probably like the majority owner, but he still has like a board of directors.
Gotcha.
Alternatively, they could just be referring to the fact that obviously
she's going to take it off him. Like,
he's already lost one club to one wife. Could lose the other one to another. But yeah, I mean, it's not out the realm of possibility where owners have been, if they've not been, if they've only been like slightly majority, that they've been bought like at like a hostile takeover where they've been bought out. But yeah, it to be honest, could be the fans try and buy him out. I don't know if he'd be allowed. I don't know what as far as like the sort of like director's test goes, as far as that goes, but he might be something there where he's not allowed to own the club if he's like doing jail time, which obviously if he's being investigated for sexual misconduct, it's a very real possibility he could be doing jail time. Although he is a rich white man, so who knows?
Over here, all those things equal, you can run for president.
Yeah.
I mean,
man, Christ. So, hey, I don't care. It's our show. I don't care. So, you notice that he takes in a deep breath and then lightens his face before he walks through the doors because everyone's used to the charming, happy-go-lucky Rupert. He has to keep that facade up.
Yeah, but he goes over, he does the same line.
Same lines.
And everyone just turns and goes,
yeah. Yeah. And then Rebecca and Sassy come in. Freaking
yeah, Sassy's back.
They come in and talk to him for the first time.
I love they brought Sassy in just to absolutely body Rupert again.
Yeah. I was a little it was curious that her daughter wasn't there.
Yeah. If they were bringing everyone else back.
Didn't he say something about being away?
I don't recall that. Maybe.
I'm sure Rebecca said something about it being like on a trip or something with school, which is why.
Yeah.
In the last episode, she said something to her.
Yeah.
Something about but I can't remember what the message. She texted her or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. There is a canonical reason why she isn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see he knows it's them behind him, and just for a brief second, like we're very used to seeing Rebecca go, and then have to talk to him. Kind of feels like he didn't want to talk to them at all.
No.
Right?
They've got so much ammunition on him now.
Yeah. And
it's interesting, isn't it? Because before he walks in the room, he does the whole like thing that Rebecca does, where he takes the big deep breath and like makes himself feel big and like assumes his role. And then, whereas obviously in previous seasons where Rebecca's had to do that, but like off screen, and then as soon as Rupert's been there, she's sort of like recoiled. He does it this time.
They switch places. It's really awesome because he had it coming. She goes out of her way to be very, very nice to him, which again is her winning. That's her winning every time she does it.
Well, that's what he did to her, wasn't it?
It was
all the way through it, kill him with kindness.
Sure.
Because then you can't go, just fuck off, because then you're being rude. Yeah.
Yeah, because Rebecca
also,
says,
I reckon he knows that she had a hand in all this as well.
Yeah, why not? Right? How couldn't she?
I mean, like, surely, like, he's gonna know that his wife is gonna go to his ex-wife, who has basically been in the exact same position for support.
Yeah. And she's going to tell him exactly what she can get and how to drag him over the coals for it.
Mm.
And obviously as well, like with stuff like the Me Too movement, where that happened obviously after that happened after like Ted Lasso had started, did it not?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think.
So again, it's like when Rupert and Rebecca's separation happened, there was probably not going to be as much sort of mainstream. It was very much like kind of like the media were hyping him up as being like a womanizer and like, but like as almost like a hero worship for it, which is
the
sad state of affairs of the media. But then now it's like, well, actually, no, he's got all these allegations against him. He's abused his power.
He's a wrong'un.
He's a bad one.
Rebecca says, "Aren't you
Johnny.
lucky?" Yeah. So she said, "Aren't you the lucky man? Whatever happened?" Because he's like, "What? Whatever happens today, a team you love wins."
Yeah.
And she walks off. Sassy says, "Heard the news. Ooh, ouch. Looks like you're going to lose another team. My God, you go through them like wives or mistresses, or I'm assuming tubes of hemorrhoid cream. But in all seriousness, I do wish you the best because you're the fucking worst." Great.
Peace.
Sassy mic drop at the end there is what we needed.
Yep. That's
Yes.
all she's done. Like, it was at the funeral, weren't it? Like, all she does is come in, like, body him, and then she just, that's it, done. Yeah.
She's probably the only woman to ever leave him speechless like that more than once. Like, he's got no comeback for that.
He has no power over her. Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah. Well done. Well done. Great. Rebecca and Sassy join Higgins' wife, who is his real wife in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, is she? I didn't know that.
Yeah, when we did the Christmas episode. Yeah,
we talked about it. It's been a while, though.
You forgot about that then.
Been a while, yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Nepotism.
And, right. Oh, my. Keeley and Barbara are in the stands. Barbara's there. Rebecca's in great spirits, and they all notice. Higgins wants to know if it has anything to do with where he'll be working next year. And she's like, after the match. His wife tells him to chill, and then she talks to Barbara and asks if she's a football fan. She goes, "Oh, I prefer rugby. There's just more grown men throwing their other grown men into the air like children and blood, which is nice." Higgins' wife is like, ooh, obviously concerned.
More Barbara than season 4.
Oh, my God.
Barbara and Beard's big night out.
Barbara and Higgins are like yin and yang, aren't they?
Oh, they really are.
They're both very meek and stuff, but Barbara is like got a dark heart.
Higgins got like a heart of gold, and Barbara's just like a dark horse.
Yeah.
In the locker room, the guys are getting ready, and Will comes in with a care package from Zava. And Danny says, "No, I will not let him hurt me again." Will says, "It's T-shirts." Danny says,
"Can I have 2, please?"
"Have 2, please." They love the swag. You know what I mean? They love the swag. As long as it's not dress shoes, right?
My feet. Is it Colin? There's a card.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. What was it? Have one of my avocados. Remember, I am always inside you.
Always inside you. Jim goes, "What?" He sent us one avocado, and Bumbercatch lifts it out like it's the Holy Grail. You know what I mean?
It's a big avocado.
There's a big avocado.
That's a huge avocado. Jamie says, "Holy guacamole." You notice the shirt says avocados on the chest?
Yeah,
it does, yeah.
Want one of those.
What else can you name your avocado farm except? And Danny taps Van Damme on the shoulder, and Van Damme recoils, of course. Danny says, "I got you a gift. It's a way to say I'm sorry for destroying your face." Van Damme opens it and takes it out. And it's a new black mask because Van Damme's still wearing the other one.
It's like carbon fiber or something, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac tells him, "You look like a superhero, bruv." And all the guys go crazy for it. Everyone goes nuts, by the way.
They're all G'd up, aren't they? Like,
yeah. He thanks Danny and hugs him. And now they're good. So now Danny and Zorro are good.
He calls him his brother. He calls him his friend. It's nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ted comes in and says he likes the mask. Calls him Van Damme. Zorro says, "It's Zorro." He goes, "Oh, sorry, Zorro. No, Zorro. Oh, you mean because the..." And that connects back to episode 7, season 1, Make Rebecca Great Again, when Ted mispronounces his name.
Such a lame joke, but yeah.
Because he kept correcting him, and he's like, "I don't understand.
Yeah.
What am I getting wrong here?
What am I getting wrong?" Yeah, it's such a non-joke, but it's a nice little runner. Yeah,
wonderful. So the beard at the board. Okay, this is a callback to when Ted was talking about the 4 tenets of success, and they're looking for number 4. Remember? And he's like, "Well, I don't know what number 4 is or whatever." And they thought he was hiding it from him. He's like, "I'm not hiding it, whatever." So on the board, you can see Beard has drawn 3 figures. One is a person holding a scarf with the team name. One's a red heart with a face and limbs, shaking the hand of a blue brain with a face and limbs. And supposedly this is all done in reference to a similar diagram shown in the Arsenal All or Nothing documentary, because Brendan Hunt, who's Coach Beard, is an Arsenal fan.
All right.
So,
I haven't watched that documentary. I probably should. They're meant to be very good.
That.
They're on Amazon Prime. They've got a Arsenal one, they've got a Spurs one, they've got a Man City one, and they've got a Newcastle one.
No Villa? What's going on?
They should have last season. I don't know who they're doing next. I think they're doing Manchester United next, sadly.
But, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Ted says, "Well, fellas, if you're looking for a pep talk from me, you're in trouble. Because I'm like Michael Flatley. What is it, 11 p.m. on St. Patrick's Day? I'm tapped out." You know what I mean? And they all seem genuinely disappointed. He doesn't have anything for them.
Yeah, they were waiting for the big Ted rallying cry, weren't they?
Yes, I think so. Luckily, though, I asked Coach Beard here to make y'all a little something to help inspire and motivate y'all for our final match together, all right? Beard brings up a video of highlights. And it looks like, guys, not only are they highlights from previous episodes, it looks like behind the scenes with the cast, maybe.
Yeah, there's lots of little bits in there.
Yeah.
That was like the fact that Beard's memory card was called Memory. It was called Beard.
It was called Beard, yeah.
That's great. Yeah. This is really cool. And they're all pointing at each other when stuff happens,
Yeah. Then it gradually gets more and more somber as they
we see Nate jump into Ted's arms, but yeah, it gets somber. Yeah.
They're all just standing there quietly weeping.
Beard's looking around, he's like, "Oh shit." Because he realizes.
But again, it's the exact opposite of last time they played them, where they murdered them because they made them angry. This time he's made them sad.
Holy shit, I totally forgot about that. Well done. Man. That was great. All the stuff I got wrote down, I don't have that wrote down. That's wonderful. So out on the pitch, the teams are lined up, and we see the Hammers first as the camera pans, and everyone's fine. We hear Chris and Arlo. Chris is saying, as a player, you know the match starts before the whistle. During the lineups, you need to show your opponent you're ready for the fight. You've got the eye of the tiger. Arlo says, "Richmond appear to be crying, Chris." Interesting strategy. Did you ever cry before a game? Only during and after. Before the match is reserved. Yeah.
For throwing up. For nervous vomiting.
I like when they're going down the line of players, everyone's fine until the last few players for West Ham are like that.
The referee's like, what's going on? Yeah. And then, like, McAdoo's just, everyone's, even the people we don't know, everyone's just doing wobbly chins.
Everyone's crying.
Yeah.
Chris says, "Think we might have blew it with video coach." Oh, I couldn't disagree more. Ain't that right, Roy? You fucking smashed it. He's crying his eyes out. Oh, I love this stuff. So, game time, the guys are doing well. Chris points out that Zorro wants to be called Zorro now. And Arlo says, "It's about time," right? Even he. Jamie passes to Danny for the goal. Danny misses it. Everyone's disappointed. Dr. Jake pipes up with, "Well, something happened." Fuck. This guy. West Ham scores, and Chris and Arlo put over the mask, even though Zorro missed the save. And a lot of stuff happening here, kids, in case you can't tell. Everyone's checking their phones. Man City has scored. Hammers are on the attack and score again. Paul squeals like a little girl in the pub.
That's a great bit. That was
and Jake's on his phone like he didn't care about it. Chris says Richmond.
As every time it cuts back to them, he's got further and further away from them.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
He'd
good
be out
call.
the door by the end of it. Yeah.
He's back in the kitchen by the end of the. Yeah. He'll be in the parking lot next. Whatever. Chris says Richmond's Cinderella story is turning into a big fat pumpkin. In the locker room, Beard shouts, "Shut your butts and sit your mouths down." Oh, you know what I meant. Because they're all looking at him. This is awesome. This is again another, emotional moment. If you let it get to you, kids, if you follow the show.
This is the Ted Lasso-iest bit of Ted Lasso.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, yeah. Well, fellas, we got our work cut out for us in the second half. But I'll get to all that in a minute. Right now, all I want to do is let you gentlemen know what an absolute honor it's been to be your coach. Getting to work with you all these last 3 years has truly been one of the greatest experiences of my life. I've loved getting to know each and every single one of you, learning all about the men you were, and getting a front row seat to see the men you have all become. And I want to thank you for your patience with me. When I showed up here, I didn't know one thing about soccer. But now I know at least one thing about football. I'm just so gosh darn proud of you to be part of this team. And I love you guys. I'm going to miss y'all. Now, regarding this second half, I don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? No one does. Sports would be a lot less fun if we did. And you all would probably make a lot less money, which got them laughing. We don't want to know the future. We want to be here right now. Look, I know we're down a couple of goals, but I'm telling you, man, if y'all play hard, play smart, play together, and just looks back, and the belief sign's gone, as we know. See behind my head, kids?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, just do what y'all do, and we'll go out with a peace of mind knowing we did our best, right? That we tried. Yeah? Anybody else have something to say? Sam stands up and says, Coach? He goes, yeah, Sam, what do you got? And this begins the deluge of each player bringing forth a piece of the belief sign that they kept. And
all
one by
kept
one.
different bits. Sam's is behind his World Cup photo. Jamie's is in the book that Ted gave him.
Bookmark, isn't he?
In episode 3 of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Rashad's is in the empty glass of sand that he tipped away from the beach where he first had sex with a.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
McAdoo's is under his captain's band. They're all they've used the totems. They're this is the bit that I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And it's dumb. It's a dumb bit, but it's beautifully done.
It's beautiful. The book Jamie has is The Beautiful and the Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald, given to him by Ted in episode 3 of season 1.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to read. I never read that. I got to check that out. So
they all come forward and put them down, and this music swells, and you've got Trent in the background watching, and then the music stops, and they go, all right.
They start
looking about, shuffling it. That bit goes there, I think. Yeah.
There's that bit, isn't there, as well, where just as before they do that, Ted and Nate kind of lock eyes and just give each other a bit of a nod.
Yeah.
Yep. And they all put their hands in, and Nate manages to get his way. Little tiny Nate manages to get through there. And
Trent's in there as well.
He is.
Yep.
Ted says, I know folks like to say there's no place like home. That's true. Man, there ain't a whole lot of places like AFC Richmond either. Isaac counts them off, and we see the believe sign back together on the pitch. Or back together on the...
on the bench thing. Get it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's me taking notes furiously earlier.
Oh, no, but it's just one of those, because that's been last episode 1. The belief sign goes up, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And what a journey, right? Because he was the only one that cared about that sign. And when it came time to get serious and get real in the locker room, when he tore it down, it mattered more to them in that moment than it mattered to him. They had bought in so much that he's like, look, it's a sign. It doesn't mean anything. You've got it here. You've got it here. Right? Freaking wonderful, man. Great stuff. So back on the pitch, Arlo points out that they've won 16 games in a row. Jay, have we seen a tear like that? Maybe? I don't know.
I probably have. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I'm gonna have a quick Google now.
Google is your friend, kids, till it's not. Okay.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course we have. So yeah, the longest Premier League winning streak is most consecutive wins is in recent years is most consecutive wins. Sorry, is City with 18. Obviously.
Ooh.
Of course.
Yeah. Also, Liverpool have done it as well. Arsenal have gone a season completely unbeaten, where they won the league. That was in like 2003, 2004.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. How many games is that?
So it's 38 games in a season, and then they went like 11 games into the new season unbeaten as well.
Wow.
Crazy. So like 49 in total.
Wow, that's nuts. Chris says he'd love to be down there with him, but he'd probably get hurt because he's old. I like how he just lets that sit there. Richmond misses 2 goals, and finally Jamie scores. Rupert, by the way, kids, who's been gloating in the stands this whole time, is now pissed off. And he says, do something, George. Mark him.
Yep.
Does that mean what I think it means?
No, it just means put a man on him.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Marking is like defending, so like just having a guy on them.
All the time.
Yeah.
Just before we move on as well, when they put the believe sign back together, Ted does go, and there it is, number 4. That's the 4th thing that they were missing.
Totally missed that. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Glad we didn't glaze over that. Yeah. Good. So Jamie gets knocked down. It's obviously crap. You can hear the crowd go, come on. You know, it's that kind of, it's a penalty kick. He hands it to Danny. Danny hands it to Isaac. I found this interesting that they handed to Isaac. Did anybody else get like,
it's kind of like going into the whole total football thing and obviously running like it's a callback to Isaac struggling, doing corners and like set pieces and them going, you can do it. Also, I think it's because he's the captain. Like a lot of the time, you will have obviously like the set penalty taker, but if it's something where it's like a big moment or like it could win you like something as like kind of like a symbolic gesture, sometimes like the kicker might like insist that the captain does it just to sort of, doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen where like they might insist the captain's done it because they've kind of like led the team to this point. And they've been like the command and presence on the pitch, so to speak.
Did we think of Colin as more of a defender than we do a striker, I guess? More on defense or no?
Who, Colin?
Not Colin, I'm sorry, Isaac.
Isaac's a defender.
Yeah.
Isaac's centre-back. So he's like, he would probably be one of the last people I'd want to put on a penalty.
Well, Rupert's like, I wouldn't trust him to take an aspirin. And everyone around him kind of goes, yeah, all right, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I love how Isaac went to hand it to Colin. Colin's
just
like,
take it.
Take it. It'll be fun. And he runs off.
Well, I think the thing is as well, like the reason that they're all like as laid back as they are is one, they've got faith that Isaac's probably going to score this because they've seen how hard he can hit the fucking ball.
Yeah.
And 2, if the keeper saves it, he's going to parry it probably to a Richmond player and they're going to score on the rebound. So that's probably another part of it where like Colin's like, nah, I'm ready to like scoop it in the back of the net if you miss. Same with obviously Danny and Jamie. They're just ready to kind of pounce if need be.
Plus, also, wouldn't like a keeper be aware of the penalty takers like normal go-to sides and that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So putting an unknown in there is extra danger.
Yeah, at a make or break moment, you wouldn't necessarily put your go-to taker because there's every chance that the keeper's been studying tape. Yeah.
I'm watching the moment again right now, actually, in real time. Yeah, they point out he's never taken one in his entire career. Okay. He's looking around. He sees the mascot on the sidelines. The little dog's wearing a little helmet.
He's got a little tin helmet on there, which is adorable.
And he's whimpering.
I love the way he goes, oh, fuck.
He's whimpering like, no, Not over here, please. And he kicks and looks like he misses. It goes straight up. And you're like, well, he banged off the post. And then all of a sudden, it's like, nope. Here comes the ref over, and he does the thing that the ball went through the net. All right. On what planet is it possible?
I think it's probably not possible. Well, it might be possible. I've seen someone kick a ball so hard that they've like made the guy's leg shatter. So I think it is possible to to break a goal with that logic. But my main issue is they've got goal line technology in football, so they'll have known as soon as the goals cross the line. The referee would have blown his whistle, and then he wouldn't need to check the goal.
It's not drama, though, is it?
That's true. Also, you've both heard a ball hit a crossbar.
Yeah,
which is what they like alluded that had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought he just skied it over it.
Yeah, true.
Because it goes over and because it hits Thingy
It's
in the
John
face,
in
doesn't it? Yeah.
Its wings not in the face. And he's like, yeah. He's like so happy.
And then he's kissing Jessica Garland, he's bleeding, and
he kisses her.
Barbara's like, yes, some blood.
Celebrating
finally.
his blood, and Higgins' wife looks really uncomfortable.
She's like, yes, finally. She's like really into it too. Yeah, they're like a little scared to be sitting next to her. Rupert comes out of the tunnel onto the pitch. Jay, this has been your episode, man. How often does this happen in real life? Like,
fuck. The only thing I can think of, and I think Joe will know what I'm going to immediately. You should do. It's quite famous. Is the Norwich City used to be owned by? I think she sold. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it used to be sold by a TV chef called Delia Smith. And a half time, like Norwich were getting absolutely thumped, and a half time, she got on the pitch with a microphone and was screaming at the fans, "Let's be having you! You support terrible."
We covered that here on the show.
Yeah, we have
brought it up before.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, you see a lot of obviously like sort of owners and stuff in the stands. You don't really see them interacting with players or management unless it's after the game. During the game, it wouldn't really happen. As I say, the Delia Smith one's the only thing I can think of.
Well, let me tell you, he's not happy. And Cartrick is who's a veteran, maybe not the best coach, as we've said. What are you doing out here, right? And he's yelling at him about covering Jamie. He's like, I got 2 on him already. And he basically tells him, take him out. He's like, I'm not doing that.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah, yes. It's like, I'm not doing that, right? And he basically says, you do it or you're gone. Carter says,
he's trying to get George to order 66, Jamie.
Got to bring it home, kids. We're bringing it home. He says, oh, fuck off. And at this point, in all caps, I have written, yes, Cartrick is a legend. I'm sorry. I love this. Again, probably didn't redeem himself for being kind of a douchebag, but I love it. This guy, in one moment, you're like, yeah, he's kind of not a great dude, but he's not an amateur. He knows you don't do that. You don't play
he's the kind of he's the kind of manager who's on a show like that, though, who's always angling for the next job. So they're gonna kiss the arse of the owners if they think they can get that job. He's obviously worked for Rupert before. He knows Rupert's probably gonna just hire him just to get him in there. So that's why he's probably doing what he's doing. But
I don't know. I'm gonna believe the best in him.
I think he's still got morals because he's very old school. So he was
he's a proper he's old school guy, and that's not how you do it. You don't possibly ruin someone's career.
Yeah.
He shows him down, and of course, he has a underwear malfunction, or with his shorts, right?
There's 3 balls on the pitch.
Call back to season 1, episode 1, when Rebecca had to tell him, when she fired him, that your balls are out, right? Come on.
It's because they're so high up, them shorts. There's no need.
Right.
Short shorts.
Rupert is looking around, and he realizes the gravity of what he's done, maybe. And he's still limping, by the way. He lips off the pitch. And
so that's why I think there's symbolism in that, because it almost mirrors the bit where Roy's limping out through the tunnel and looks back. Because he does the exact same thing. He limps through the tunnel and then he turns back and looks back. But instead of getting like a hero's send off like Roy, everyone's chatting wanker at him.
Yeah.
That's a callback too, when they first chanted it to Ted. Yep. I
But
love how
the club that he loved was turned against him.
Yes. You'd like to think in that moment that character realizes, man, it's over. Like I've lost my way, but I don't know.
It's also a callback if you think of, it's like a full circle moment if you think about it, of like, so when Rupert's talking about when he was a kid and he was like sneaking into the club and he wasn't welcome there because he was sneaking in without a ticket and basically like got the shit kicked out of him by like the security guard and then kicked him in the balls and told him to fuck off, called him a wanker, and then Rupert as an old man is getting booed out of the club that he loves, that he used to own, that he's already been ousted from, being called a wanker, and he's just like walking down the tunnel ashamed.
Crazy. Yeah. Full circle. Yeah. I love how Ted just kind of looks over at Cartrick and they both give each other a nod. Cartrick's like, I ain't having that. We're going to play the right way. I freaking love that. Yeah.
I did like the way that Nate like slightly still cowers in fear at Rupert coming past as well.
Yes.
Like until he sees him push him over, and then he's like, "Oh, you're just a bully."
Yeah, Rupert didn't even see him there, did he? Like he was just. West Ham scores again.
The referee comes over. Come on, George, put him away.
Put him away. Yeah.
Oh, that referee, I think he's been in a previous episode, is Mike Dean. He's an actual Premier League referee.
He seemed like a real person. Yeah.
Yeah, he's because he's from Merseyside, which is where Liverpool and Everton are. And there's no proof that he's a Liverpool fan, but whenever he gets put on like a City game or a United game, there's fucking murder because like, oh, of course he's on that.
Well, it's not looking good for the team, kids, because West Ham scores again. Ted is laughing. Roy says, "The fuck you laughing at?" I think Roy's ready to kill him. Ted goes, 14 was offsides. You're like, what? Sure enough, he's right. Beard takes money out of his pocket, gives it to him, and you're like, Ted's figured out the game.
He's figured it out. But Ted looking at it as well. It's not counterfeit. There's nothing to do with you.
With you. Yeah. So this goes all the way back. Season 1, episode 2. Trent asked Ted ahead of his first official match as manager. He's like, you explain the offside rule. And Ted can't. The offside rule continues to confuse him throughout the entire series until now, which is awesome.
Or did it, and he knew it all along, and it's just a disarming technique again.
I feel like he's probably.
They have it in basketball and stuff down there. You can't just whip the ball down and have someone go and chase it, surely.
I feel like he's learned it along the way because it's quite like a straightforward rule, really.
Yeah, it's not that complex.
So in basketball, of course, you can go out of bounds, of course, as you can in a game, but there's lane violations. You can't just pitch a tent in the lane away on a guy to drive the ball. And there's goaltending. So, yeah, there's things where you can't just be where you're at.
Yeah.
More or less the same thing as goaltending. It's literally like, so all offside is that when a ball's played, you've got to be in front of the line of defense.
The last player.
Like when the ball leaves the player's foot, they can play it behind the players and you can run through, but you've got to, when the actual ball is played, you need to be in front of their defense.
Yeah. So you can't just hoof it down. Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's also like times where, like, say if like a defender passed it back to the goalkeeper and a player in like a striker intercepted it, it wouldn't be offside because it's like their fuck up. Or the other one is if a player is ahead of the, so if a player is like the most far forward player with the ball and they're attacking and they pass it back to a player who's in an offside position, it is an offside because they're technically putting them on.
Yeah.
That's the most kind of like complex part of it.
Well, again, Ted's either knew all along or
Ted's absolutely right, though. They are offside.
Yeah.
So Richmond get a kick. Jamie lines up. Coaches are working on the calls on the sidelines. By the way, Joe, throw that out there, what they were trying to call when Beard mentioned they needed a player. Do we remember the guy's name?
I haven't got it, no. He says Backhoe or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. That's a long toboggan.
Loki's toboggan it was, wasn't it?
No, Loki's toboggan, they can't do that because it's a long toboggan ride. And
That's
then
right.
There was one that they said they were too close for.
Yeah, and then the third one, it would have been better if we had Burko or Bracco here or something. Yeah, but I forgot to write it down because, yeah. But it's not important. I'm assuming he's just one of the other players who isn't playing.
Yeah, probably.
Well, he calls Nate over, who Nate had no idea apparently who's going to get involved in this game, and he hands him an invisible Oscar or an ESPY. And Jamie, a Bubbercatch, and Sam are like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Holding the. It's heavy. Hold the.
It's heavy. Hold it.
You're acting." And they're like, and they know. Yeah. They know what the play is.
I love though that Ted takes it back off him and then just throws it over.
Yeah. He had to.
Still got to finish the bit off.
It's like Tanahashi throwing the air guitar. You know what I mean?
But also that's Nate's play.
Yeah,
it is Nate's play.
That's Nate's play, and Nate's like made up that Ted's like actually still using it.
Season 1, Nate devised a solid trick play for the team to try during training, which involves Sam scoring a goal while Jamie served as decoy. And then Ted's on the pitch going, "I'd like the ball, please. Pass me the ball. Why can't I have the ball?" And he's running sideways running.
I love the way Jamie's doing that, though.
Jamie's
like, give me the ball. Put the ball to me, please. I would
very much like the ball, thank you.
Great. Because your best player is going to draw more coverage. And the fact that he's making noise because you're human is going to, wait a minute. And you're going to take your eyes off Sam, who is as much of a threat as Danny is to score. Like he's
playing as a proper number 10, where he's the focal point of like the team. Everything goes through him, but also he draws away all the heat from like other players. So it allows like the wingers to kind of like drift in, or it allows like some of the deeper midfielders to come through later, and the striker can just be unmarked.
It's wonderful. He scores, and Sam scores, and it's freaking awesome. Wide open. Did you guys hear? Did you hear the ball hit the camera, or was supposed to have been the camera? You could hear you could like glass breaking.
Oh no, I didn't. But
they threw that in, I'm sure, just for the effect. But that was, and plus it kind of shook. That was awesome. Ted's holding Nate in midair as a callback to what we said earlier.
Yeah.
And that's Nate yelling, "You used my play." Richmond wins, kids. Everyone's going crazy except for Dr. Jake, who's just still like, I don't care. Like he still doesn't care about any of it.
When they actually like score, he gets up and like walks off, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he does. We see Wings Night in the stands, and somehow he's already got a mask on. I don't know how that happened. He's already got a mask.
Zorro's old one.
It looks like Zorro's. How did he get that? Right?
If you get smashed in the face, the medical team will come and sort you out. From my knowledge,
they just got those masks. I mean, I guess I'm not leaving. Give me something to wear. I'm watching this game. Everyone is going crazy, storming the pitch. Michael comes onto the pitch. We see a player kiss his girlfriend, and the camera goes in. And this is a payback to what Colin said in the previous episode. I just want to be able to kiss my boyfriend after a game.
Yep.
So he's able to do it.
Little tear there as well, because it's a lovely bit.
Lovely bit, yeah. Keeley and Sassy are yelling, telling Rebecca, "Look what you did." She's like, "I didn't do this." And like, "Yes, you did. This is you," right? Wow. On the pitch, Ted does the running man. Call back to season 1, episode 1. First time we saw him.
Yep.
Footage of his celebration with the Wichita State Shockers doing the running man dance. And there you go. We're back to this. Chris says, "I never know what to do when a white man does a running man in front of everyone. That line's been used a lot, but with different things, right? I never know what to do when a grown man beatboxes in front of me. That was Keeley, and then something else happened through the series. And just like that, kids, we're leaving the dog track, at least for now. We've moved time a little forward here, and Ted is at the airport. And he's browsing the newsstand. And who's got the list? I've got it. Joe, do you have it?
I've got some of it.
I've got some of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Sun.
Ew, don't buy the Sun.
No, don't buy the Sun. But also, Rebecca knows the guy that owns the Sun. You mean God?
Yes.
It has the secretary from Mannion is in Love Conquers All, which I believe is the.
I thought it said Lust Conquers All.
Lust Conquers. Is that what I said? Lust Conquers All. The thing that Jamie was on, the Love Island ripoff, essentially.
Right.
I'm assuming that's Beck's, like the personal assistant girl, the secretary from Mannion.
Yeah, I can't think of her name.
I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Mrs.
Cakes.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Cakes, yeah.
Beck, she's writing a book about placenta recipes.
Ugh. Yeah.
And the front page is Mannion and Jeff. I didn't get any more from that, but there is some other stuff, but I'll let you have a go.
So there is, when Ted reaches for the Beano, there's a sports magazine announcing that Zav has come out of retirement and joined LAFC, which was the newest MLS franchise at the time, I believe. And also that Zorro has a summer job, and the keeper is the star in his Jean-Claude Van Damme remake of Escape to Victory.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Great.
And then there's a magazine called Entrepreneur, which the headline is "A Star Fucker is Born," featuring Shandy Fine, the brains behind the hottest new dating app.
She's doing all right.
Well, a subheading on the same cover reads that Jack Danvers is no longer Daddy's little girl, alluding to Jack not faring well after treating Keeley poorly.
Good.
Yeah.
So
good.
that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. Ajax wins the was it Eredivisie in the Netherlands?
Eredivisie, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Dutch league.
Pep in your step. Pep Guardiola unveils a clothing line for men with perfect silhouettes.
Didn't get that one.
There was an article.
I'm surprised he hasn't done that already, to be fair.
No kidding. There's an article about the quiet genius of Leslie Higgins.
Amazing.
Okay.
I'm happy about that.
And Isaac McAdoo is featured in the football magazine.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Great stuff. I love this, how this show goes the extra mile to pepper things in. Ted buys 2 papers, and before he can go very far, he stopped by Tommy, played by Bill Skinner, the Ussy guy. Oh, you got
this jerk.
I love Tommy.
Oh,
Episode 1. And also the Christmas episode, as we know. He was there.
Yeah. The dentist house, wasn't it? Yeah.
He was, yeah.
What's awesome. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And because when he saw him in the first episode, he basically said, it's stupid that Ted would, take her of this team. But now he's telling him it's stupid to go back to America after his success with Richmond. So the thing is completely switched.
Mm-hmm.
It's flipped. He says, "Are you Ted Lasso?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm one of them." Oh, mate, sucks about Richmond coming in second. So we find out Richmond came in second, kids.
Yep. Still
Man City are just too good.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I feel like it leaves it open that there's more work to do.
Yeah.
And also that Ted has unfinished business at the club if he did want to bring him back as manager.
I love that Joe's like, no.
We'll see.
And of course, he has to get an Ussy. Ted's not quite as happy. If you see the side by side with the Ussy from season 1, Ted's all smiles. He's barely smiling here because he's like, again, he's happy to go home, but it's somber.
Yeah. It's a bittersweet. Yeah.
It's an absolute bittersweet moment because he's obviously like loves Richmond but he needs to go back to his family.
When Tommy thanks him, he says "kinky boots" as he walks off.
Well, he says "wicked," doesn't he? And he says "kinky boots."
Yeah, he said "wicked" and he says "kinky boots." It's 2 musicals.
There you go.
Again, just a dumb throwaway joke. That was like
not another musical joke, but it's a very good one.
It reminded me of when he says "mercy buckets."
Yeah.
So he turns and Rebecca is there. Rebecca, by the way, wearing the same orange top, black skirt, and black blazer as she did in season 1, episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. He says, "Now, what the heck are you doing here?" She said, "I just bought a ticket to get through security so I could come and say a proper goodbye." Classic rom-com leave cute tactic. Love it. Hold on. You bought yourself a first-class ticket for a flight you ain't ever going to take? Because it was just force of habit. He says, "Oh, yeah, sure. I see you're sticking around, though." She goes, "Well, Ted, you're going home to your family, and I actually want to stay with mine." And the pick on the paper, because I don't know if we called this out, is about she's selling 49% of the club to the fans.
I think we deliberately left that one out, didn't we?
Yeah.
To lead up to this.
Yeah,
we're pros.
She's staying.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
But
so
she's getting the extra money to put into the club.
Yes. So where is this reality? Do you know off the top of your head, where is the fans own a piece? Like,
yeah, quite a lot of clubs do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you tend to see there's quite a lot of like lower league clubs that do it. Not so much in the championship and up, but you do see it. But usually it will be that there's like a kind of majority owner. And then obviously like with like the likes of some of the like bigger teams, they'll just have like an outright owner, like City have like an outright owner. For example, but yeah, there is a lot of clubs in the league that will have like sort of fan owned shares, or like Liverpool have like tons of like minority owners. So like LeBron James like owns like 2% of Liverpool or something like that. I think at one point Snoop Dogg did as well. And it's just like the stuff like that where like there's people who just want a little bit of the club, so they'll just buy like a very small stake. A share, yeah, is literally like it's a cursory thing, but it's just kind of it's the best way to describe it is what they do is that it's a good way for them to kind of like generate money into the club, because obviously if they're selling the shares, they will all of a sudden then like raised money for better players to come in and to bring in better staff, improve their facilities, stuff like that. And then obviously if they decided to like it gives them more of the kind of like money they've got in the club already to be able to spend on other things. And obviously with them being in the Champions League, they're going to be getting a lot of better sponsorship deals and the like. So yeah.
Well, Ted tells her it's a great picture. Can't wait to read the article. And she says, "It's not bad. I would have preferred if they hadn't described me as the club matriarch." Ted says, "I mean, it does have more gravitas than soccer mom." At the same time, they both say thank you.
Yeah.
And this is intense because while Sudeikis is not crying, Hannah Waddingham is a really good actress. She ain't that good, because I think she's legit crying in this moment. Like, not for the camera. She's really feeling this, you know.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was the very last scene they filmed in the show.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe they saved it intentionally.
Like that, I feel like that when you got the players looking at the video, that was probably their last scene together.
If you're going to do the big emotional beats, yeah.
Also, I found out when I was looking for the paper headlines, that's actually based on like a real thing that happened.
What?
The team crying at the start of the match and
going
two down.
What?
Yeah. Our good friend Pep Guardiola was responsible for it.
Oh.
So it was in a I've just lost the fact now. So it was in the 2009 Champions League final, when Guardiola was the coach. He made like a pre-game video just to thank the players for like the season, because I'm pretty sure Barcelona won everything in that season, and the last thing they needed to win was the Champions League. And they went out and were all like emotional and conceded 2 goals within the first 10 minutes.
Wow.
And then, like Richmond, recovered in the second half and won the game.
Man, now we don't look like amateurs because you found that. Well done.
Yeah. Well.
I did actually mean to like look for it, because I remember reading about it at the time, and I just completely forgot. And then I saw it when I was looking at the headlines.
See, without Jay, we got no credibility here. I'm telling you. Me and Joe are just winging this shit. I just take a bunch of notes. Joe's got some great lines, and then Jay fucking brings it home.
You get the basketball stuff, to be fair. I haven't got a clue about that.
I got that much, but you're bringing the whole enchilada here, man.
Joe's got all like the film references. A lot of them I miss.
Don't try and
Don't do that.
I'm only good for the Star Wars ones.
Oh, we all had a role to play here, kids. I love how this goodbye is a little awkward, because most goodbyes are really awkward, especially with a lady. It's awkward.
Just leave £20 on the night table.
Oh man.
Well, I think as well, the most important thing is thank you's all they needed to say in that moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they didn't need to say anything more than that.
It's really good because again, she's wanting him is losing it, and he gets on the plane. Beard is there with his glasses on, and Ted is very much torn on whether or not this is a good idea. He says, "Coach, is this nuts, us leaving like this?" In the pilot of the show, he asked Coach if they were nuts for venturing across the pond in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
He says, we almost won the whole friggin' thing, saying goodbye to a bunch of nice folks. And I know I finally accepted that air conditioning as a privilege and not a right. I don't know. What do you think?
Air conditioning in Britain.
I mean, we have done the last couple of summers.
Just get a fan to waft hot air at you. It's much the same.
Same thing. Beard takes his glasses off, and he's been crying, and Ted does a double take. And he's like, I can't do this. I don't want to go, Ted. I'm in love with Jane. I want to stay, and I don't want to let you down. But with your permission, I'd love to run off this plane into her arms. Because he's like, look, you're not letting anybody down. You're doing what you got to do. I get it. And he talks about running off the plane. He's like, well,
what about your luggage? It's full of rice.
Doesn't that connect back to something about rice? Because I meant to look that up, and I totally forgot about it. Maybe it doesn't.
I don't know. I just thought it was a great line. Like,
it's a great line.
In classic Beard thingy, he's just packed a load of rice for no reason, because he's not slept for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've established that he's a hatcheter, whatever they're calling him.
He's got axes, yeah. And
so he uses bags of rice, maybe. I don't know.
But yeah. He knew he was going to do this, and he didn't. Yeah.
Trying to get the courage to, Beard says, I haven't slept for 3 days, man. And Ted says, okay, I'm sorry. And he's like, I've been dreading this, talking to you, abandoning you. And that's when he says, Coach, you ain't abandoning me. You're just following your heart, and I get it. And yeah, you should go. But look, man, I don't think they're going to let you off this plane with that door already shut. He says, I have a plan. Ted says, of course you do. What do you need me to do? Beard throws water in his face, and Ted goes, whatever's about to happen, that's a great start. He says, I love you, Ted. He says, I love you too, Willis, which is a different strokes reference.
That's his real name as well, isn't it?
It's his real name. Beard's real name is Willis Beard.
Did I know that? Did we know that? Have we known this?
It has been alluded to before, because Fred has said, what you talking about, Willis?
Yes.
But you just assume it's a different strokes reference. But canonically, Beard's first name is Willis.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Where were you on that one, Jay? God, Joe brought it home.
I was ready.
I mean, he did.
Jay was ready. Hear that? Tom wasn't ready. I understand.
He did start it, but yeah.
I understand. Tom wasn't ready. I get it. Beard starts screaming, my appendix. It tastes like the other side. He has to switch sides.
Thank you.
Beard's he throws himself on the floor and he's kicking his feet up in the air like a baby.
The dying fly.
Great.
Yep.
They lead him off in a wheelchair and he's got oxygen and he winks at Ted and puts the oxygen back on his face.
And they asked you, do you want to go to the hospital with your friend? No, he'll be all right. She walks off. What a piece of shit.
Yeah. By the way, it's the same flight attendant from season 3, episode 1, who put Henry on his trip home to Kansas.
Oh, didn't know that. Didn't spot that.
And Father and Son by Cat Stevens playing the final montage. I am not a fan of this song. It's okay, though. The final montage is gut-wrenching.
I like the Cat Stevens version. Any other version of it is terrible, especially the Boys Own one. Just because of Ronan Keating going, how? All the way through it.
Thanks a lot. Son's crying. Father and son's crying.
Father and son's crying. Mother and child reunion. But yeah.
Well done.
I do like Cat Stevens or Yusuf Islam or whatever he's called now. But yeah.
Yusuf.
And also, I don't think he's gone back. I don't know. But yeah, this song as well here is very apt. I mean, Ted Lasso has always been very good with its musical choices.
True.
But I would say this is a bit too on the nose, if anything.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It fits, but yeah. Rebecca's outside walking. There's a little girl that kids you may remember from season 3, episode 10, when she's in the meeting with the football club owners and she sees herself as a little girl in the mirror. And she's thinking, no, it's not her. It's a little girl who actually falls.
Yep.
Turns out it is the daughter of Mattis. I think that's how we're saying.
It was a pilot.
He's a pilot.
Yeah.
Well done. Call back to the Amsterdam episode, of course.
But he go, it's you. Who is it, Father? Papa? And he doesn't know her name. Rebecca. And it's like, it's true. What the gypsy woman said.
It's true.
All come true. You will have a daughter.
I'm saying, Tish knows her stuff, man.
She's still a huckster.
Don't mess around with Tish, man.
What's she gonna do? Put a Nate style curse on me?
She's in Agatha all along, is Tish.
There is one thing as well she does predict as well in this last little montage.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we get to it.
When we get to.
So Ted opens his gift from Keeley. I don't recall him pulling anything out of the bag except the snow globe. Did I miss anything else he pulled out of the bag?
Just the snow globe.
The snow globe, which he would never have got in his hand luggage.
Nope. It is first
liquid
class,
in it.
Probably are. Yeah, it's over 30
well over.
now. Yeah. Also, I'm reckoning that's the same one that she got Barbara and just didn't return it.
That is 100% the same one.
Yep.
Barbara definitely didn't give her the receipt back.
Yep.
Or she didn't find it in the first place because
she just couldn't be asked taking it back. I'll just give it 10.
Yeah.
That's great.
Beard's bag's just full of rice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All that luggage. So Trent picks up Beard's copy of the book. It's tabbed with colored paper on every page.
Just a couple of notes.
All around all 3 sides of the book.
I love that Trent just goes, and just
throws it down.
Yeah. Ted's copy says, "Great job, Trent. I loved it. One small suggestion, I'd change the title. It's not about me. It never was." Wonderful. Keeley's business sign now says KBPR. Presumably this means
KJPR, doesn't it?
Keeley Barbara Public Relations.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
Keeley Barbara Public Relations.
Because Barbara's there all the time. I think is he Derek? What was called?
Dan.
Yeah.
Dan? He's there.
Yeah.
Whatever. The guy that was going to leave and then didn't leave. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Sit down.
But
Dan.
a weird thing. All the desks are pushed together. It's a synchronicity thing. It's
wonderful.
Well, as well, in that actual sort of moving shot, it's just Barbara sort of relaying something to Keeley and Keeley going, "Oh, well done, that's a really good job."
Yeah.
And Barbara's desk is out there with them, which is great. She's not by herself; she's with them. So, Rebecca, you noticed that the shirts were different, by the way.
Yeah.
We've never seen these shirts that I can recall.
Yeah.
That's a fucking nice training kit, though.
Yeah, new
Rebecca.
season, isn't it?
Yeah, she introduced. Oh, well done. Yeah. Can't go wrong with that Man City baby blue. Just saying. Maybe that's what we're doing here. Rebecca introduces Roy as the new manager at the club. He hangs up a drawing of breasts with black tape over the nipples where Ted's pyramid used to hang on the wall. This is a reference back to when Ted used black tape to censor a topless photo of Keeley that Jamie's got hanging in his locker in episode 1 of season 1.
I missed that completely.
Yeah, I thought it was some art.
Well, it is. It's his niece's, remember, unnervingly accurate.
God, yes.
Charcoal sketches of a woman's chest.
He had to buy off the teacher.
Yes. Seen in season 2.
Wow.
Great stuff. Again, kids, they pay it off. If you're a fan, they will reward you.
I've watched this twice back to back and didn't pick up on that. Like, there's so much in there. We'll probably not even touched half of it. Like,
that's true. Yeah, I went to like 5 different sites and plus what I knew from memory and back through our notes of 3 seasons. And probably still missed some stuff.
That's tons.
And wow, that's something. Nate's at dinner. His dad comes in to join him. The tables they're big. A lot of people there. Jade's there. Several others. By the way, Nate's wearing the suit that Ted bought for him in season 2, episode 5.
They're also in the window seat of A Taste of Athens.
Yeah.
Well done.
Is it? So it looks like it's like Nate's whole family, doesn't it? Like
it looks like everyone, and probably hers as well. Like it might be like the meeting of the families thing that you have to horribly do.
Ooh, yeah, that means that.
I was thinking because doesn't his sister have kids?
A kid, isn't it?
A kid for sure.
No, she's got a son and a daughter, hasn't she? I think.
Yeah, because it didn't look like it was like a massive family, but it looked like it was definitely like they made a big point of obviously Nate's mum, Jade, Nate, his dad, and I think his sister as well.
Also, fellas in the background as well. The owner.
Is Derek in the background? I didn't see him.
Derek's in the background doing big gesturing to people. Yeah.
Derek's in the background, coked up to the gills.
Yeah.
After he got in trouble.
Chewing his cheeks.
I see him talking to somebody. Yeah. Love Derek. Wish Derek had he is doing his arms. Yeah, I see him.
Yeah, I told you he's doing big gestures. Yeah.
There is a really nice bit though where like obviously Nate's dad like coming and sitting down. He puts his hand on Nate's shoulder.
He pats him on the back,
and like smiles at him, which is like completely alien.
Very alien. Going to take some getting used to for both of them, I assume. Yeah. Again, they're not real. What am I talking about?
No.
But we see Sam smiling and posing with what we assume is a Nigerian team.
Yep.
That is the Nigerian team.
Yeah.
They're even recreating the photo that he's got in his locker.
Yeah.
And cool. Sam's wearing number 10 as well. Didn't we say that 10 was significant, or was it 9 that's significant?
9 and 10 both are.
Kufu was offering him a jersey, and it was the number. I forget.
Shit! Yeah, no, 10's a famous Nigerian player, shit, but I can't remember who it is off the top of my head.
There you go. Yep. Jamie's in the facility where his dad is. This warmed my heart as well. Where they're looking at pics, and his dad has never looked healthier.
It took me a second because I was going, "Who's that?"
Yeah. It looks like a different actor.
Yeah, right? I thought it was a different actor, but I don't think he's dead. Like,
no, we saw him in
the wash.
Yeah,
he's just had a wash. Yeah,
you saw him in the last episode, didn't you? At the very end.
Yeah, but he looked,
it looked
healthy.
He looked quite healthy in that last one.
Yeah, he looks healthy. He looks like again. I think it was to get clean.
Yeah.
I'll sort his brain out.
Yeah. There's a big cookout outside Higgins' house. Everyone's there. Everybody's there. The team, everybody.
Rebecca's there as well, isn't she?
Yep. Yeah, she comes in at
the
end.
She arrives at the very end.
Yep.
2 bottles of champagne.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And with her new love and his daughter, they're with her. May, they're in the pub. Baz, Jeremy, and Paul, all three have their names on one share of AFC Richmond.
There's a lot of kids, isn't there, in that
yes,
in that barbecue thing. I was trying to figure out who it was because Phoebe's there.
Phoebe's on Keeley's lap. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Rebecca's presumably stepdaughter's there.
She arrives with them and then runs off with 2 other kids.
And then, Higgins has got 4 boys, hasn't he?
Yeah, but they're a bit older than Mattis's daughter. I think one of them runs off with them. They're just running up and down the street. What kids do, isn't it?
I was going to say, yeah.
Again, it might be
players,
significant others, and yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just now seeing Danny and Jan Moss with Nerf guns chasing each other.
Yeah.
Playing with the kids.
There's so much going on in that scene. I was trying to figure it out.
It's like a Where's Wally? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. And then May sets down a stack of shares on the bar. Hers is on top. And I think Baz puts his hand, she slaps his hand. She straightens a picture of Geronimo on the wall. And that is a callback to Cheers.
Yeah.
The last episode, because Sam finally straightened the picture of Geronimo. They've been crooked through the whole show. And of course we know.
Coach, he corrects the picture.
Sam did it.
No,
Coach was dead by the end of.
No, it's the picture of Coach he straightens, isn't it?
Geronimo.
Okay, I'll have to go back and watch it. I always thought it was because anyway, it's not important.
Yeah, it's funny how it didn't matter till they wanted you to see it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, and then Trent's at a book signing for the Richmond Way. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Really well done. Keeley comes into the office with a binder and tells Rebecca to look, and it says AFC Richmond women's team. I love where all this is going. Yeah. This is really good. Roy is in Dr. Sharon's office and sees the green army man on her desk. She got that from Ted in season 2, episode 11.
Yep.
In her beer.
Dr. Sharon is now full-time at Richmond.
Yeah, she's got a name badge and everything.
She's got a name badge and everything. Brain wizard, it says on it, yeah.
Yes. Head of mental health and emotional well-being, but brain wizard's the same thing.
Brain wizard's the same, and it's just.
And plus, it's fun to say brain wizard.
I'd phone up someone. Are you the brain wizard? Yes.
And she shuts the door, leading you to believe Roy is there to finally start talking through some things.
Yes.
You know,
he's growing. Like Higgins said, as long as you ask for help and keep going forward, you're always getting better.
Yeah. I mean, he sabotaged the best relationship he's ever had. He didn't mean to, but got to figure out why you did that. You know what I mean? Like,
he's trying to stop getting in his own fucking way.
Yeah. I mean, Dr. Sharon's got to work out with Roy because from a boy, he's been messed up, innit? Like, there's a whole 40 years there to untangle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good call. Beard and Jane are married at Stonehenge because, of course, they are. Everyone's there, including the team.
I was going to say, there's 2 callbacks to Beard's night out there.
Yeah.
There's the couple are there. Yeah. And also Beard's
with a baby.
With a baby. And also Beard's wearing the
trousers.
Wearing the trousers.
That he got given. Yep.
Great stuff.
Again, it's just a lovely bit. And Danny's got two lasses on either arm, giving him little smooches.
The thruple.
Yeah, well, you know, if they're all happy with it, no one's getting hurt. There's no problem.
Remember when he woke up in the bed with the 2 women because he had killed the dog? Oh, yeah. And we're like, what does Danny do when we're not looking? Yeah.
Danny's into it, yeah.
Telling you.
Yeah.
He couldn't be happier. And it's an awesome scene. But yeah, the couple is there with the baby. And Jane looks to be pregnant.
Yep.
So, well done.
I love as well that there's the bit where like Isaac's crying and then it pans across and like Colin's crying as well, and both the partners just look at each other and like hand them both tissues.
And that's the bus driver. That's Kenneth marrying them too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Kenneth's an ordained druid. Of course he is.
Of course.
I mean, I feel like Beard's wedding could have been like a bonus episode.
I love this.
Ted
so
wasn't
much.
even there. Ted didn't even fly over to go to Beard's wedding.
Well, again, we don't know what the time frame on this
also,
is.
was Nate there?
there's a lot of people. Like, I didn't. Man, he's got it up now, but I don't remember.
It focuses on Jamie. It focuses on Jamie, Bumbercatch, and Richard, doesn't it?
I'm looking right. Nate's there. Nate's with Jay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I assumed he would be. Yeah.
And Roy's Beard's best man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
And then Jane's made him on as a little goth kid.
Yeah, there's a little goblin stood behind him. I was like, who's that?
Yeah.
Have we not met her?
Like, where'd you find her at? Yeah, God knows.
The Goblin City. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the labyrinth.
Goblin City. It's a store. You just go get one. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello,
that's freaking
I'm
great.
Goblin Child. Thank you.
Yeah, Red. They call her Red because I don't know if she ever got a name. And Darren, that's the guy's name from Beard's Night Out. I'm sorry, Beard Out. I always want to call the episode Beard's Night Out for some reason.
It is Beard's Night Out, but yeah.
Yeah. Beard After Hours. Ted lands in Kansas, kids. We're almost there. Yeah. And arrives at Michelle's. And Henry comes out to greet him. She comes out, waves at him, of course. And we see them on the pitch for Henry's game. Ted is coaching. And of course, Henry is wearing number 9, which is Jamie's number. Of course it is.
Jamie's number should be number 10. Just saying.
Danny
should be number 9. But yeah. Also, one thing we just kind of like glossed over, but it is quite significant, is Nate repairing the sign. With,
yes.
That's in my notes. Yeah. Went right past it.
With a kintsugi, which is the Japanese art form of repairing items with gold to create an even more magical item.
Mm-hmm.
Which Tish mentions in the episode.
Which Tish mentions in the episode that Rebecca goes to see her.
Yeah, it's right after the scene of Dr. Sharon in her office with Roy. I went right past
Also, how they repair Thingy's helmet in the last Star Wars film.
Kylo Ren's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
To get that in there, you know.
That's true. Maybe
everyone else is doing it.
Maybe they'll use it to repair Rupert's knee or pride.
Or pride.
Nah, he can have brass.
Nah. Him going down the tunnel is the equivalent of the Emperor getting thrown down the shaft.
Down the shaft compared to down the engines.
Well, had to bring it home. Why did it take us this long? Jay, where were you on that one? That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it makes I'm sorry, it makes either that or we're making it make perfect sense. I don't know.
To be fair, the Emperor parallel I didn't think of because I was too busy thinking of like the parallel of Roy and Jamie both doing it.
That's fair too.
Yeah.
So of course, like we said, he's wearing Jamie's number and Henry's upset because he missed a goal. As Joe pointed out, you're wide open. What's wrong with you? And Ted says, what do we say? Be a goldfish. And the first reference, of course, for goldfish was Ted urging him to be a goldfish in season 1, episode 2. Because a goldfish is so happy it only has a 10-second memory. We close this episode on Ted's smiling face as Flight Test by the Flaming Lips plays us out.
Mm-hmm.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is episode 12. Man, I'm not as teary as I thought I would be. What happened?
It's done. Like,
go back and do this over. I want to do
it ends beautifully. Like,
it does end beautifully.
Yeah.
It's
a great ending.
Like I said, it's bittersweet. You know, everyone has gone on to achieve bigger and better and greater things, apart from Rupert Buckingham. And Ted is happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, Ted got
all you want.
Ted got what he wanted. He got to resolve everything with his family. It appears that Ted and Michelle are back together. Dr. Jake's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he's not when Ted's going back into the house. He's not like
he's long gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that match, she'll have been like, you know what, this isn't working out.
After Paris, she knew that
I know, but you feel obliged. It's the implication, isn't it?
Because of the implication, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not that implication. Sorry.
Not that one. Not the boat one. No.
Yeah, I'm searching I'm searching for a wedding band because he did I don't see it on his hand. Doesn't mean that they're not back together.
Then they might just be. We don't have to get married. We can just see how it goes.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, marriage is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we said, kids, everyone in this show gets rounded back. Their evolution completes, and with the exception of one person who doesn't get redemption, because honestly, he didn't want it. He doesn't deserve it, number one. But number two, he didn't want it. He didn't see what was wrong with him. He thought he was fine. He's wrong, and he found out the hard way that he's wrong. But yeah, everyone gets what they need, which leaves us hanging as to what the hell could be for season 4. I want to see it if it's well written, and of course, it has to be good and make sense and be logical. But as we watch this, I'm like, I don't want to leave this world forever because I've really enjoyed doing this with you guys. But like, I just don't know, how do you come back to this and make it make sense? We can get into that in the series review, but yeah, we'll see.
We might have more news about whether there's going to be a season 4 as well this time next week.
That's fair. Yeah, but look, by the time we get, yeah, for sure. Hopefully we do. Hopefully there's some more stuff that we can share and we can riff off of.
There's a lot of smoke, so there must be fire.
Yeah, you would think.
There is no production dates and nothing yet.
No.
I mean, I'm assuming there's not even a script. Right?
Well, it looks like
not even a first pass at a script.
It looks like there's been. It looks like there's been talks though. Like Jason Sudeikis said that they're in conversations about season 4, and he's excited.
He said that today.
It's still early days.
And plus, Goldstein's being coy about it too, saying that if there is a story, he didn't know about it.
I mean, to be fair, with Goldstein, Wannigham, and the guy who plays Higgins, that I can't remember the name of, they just got their options picked up. That doesn't mean necessarily much of anything. It just means that they had the option for a 4th in their contract.
Jeremy Swift.
Jeremy Swift, that's the one. So yeah, they're just kind of like there. Nick Mohammad's not doing much at the moment, is he? So he'll probably be well up for it.
He was teasing it before anything got.
Yeah, he
happened.
did.
Well, he fucking ruined the ending, didn't he?
He did, yes.
Ruined the ending on Instagram, the mad bastard.
He's the Tom Holland of the Ted Lasso universe. He just can't help himself. They're like, stop talking, right?
Okay.
I love it. Well, kids, there you have it. We threatened it for over a year. For 14 months, we threatened it, and we got here. So we hope you have enjoyed our review of Ted Lasso. We're done with the show. Yeah, we're done with the show, but we got a series rundown we're going to do. And you may see us snacking. We're going to keep it that makes sense to the show because, as you guys know, we were not for these guys, maybe. I was hungry in every episode, and we always talked about food.
Yeah.
To pull the curtain back on this a little bit, we'd always record it like dinner time, our time. And you just we're about to have your lunch after we'd recorded.
Yeah.
So me and Joe were usually talking about what we just ate for dinner.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And like today, last time I ate was cereal this morning. So it's time to eat.
You're getting a kebab.
Yeah.
I'm saving it. There's a shawarma / kebab place not far from here that I didn't find out until 2 weeks ago. I'm saving it till the series review. I don't want to have any of it. Because I want to try it for the first time on this show. So yeah, hopefully the stuff will be good.
Just for tradition, and also because there's a minimum delivery fee for me getting it, I might get a small kebab and a small fish and chips and a pint.
Ooh, live the dream. I'm just going to get a jar of peanut butter with the lid off.
Well, we'll have to do the toast from Beard and Ted, even though I don't drink. I'll toast something with you guys.
Cup of tea.
So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Well, kids, there you have it.
Camera.
What's that?
Sparkling water and spit it over your camera.
Oh my God. Yeah, just douse it. Douse it. That's how we end the show. By the way, Rebecca had a spit take and I totally glossed over it in the show.
No.
Did she?
Totally missed it. She had a spit take with the money.
Leslie says $2 billion.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. See?
I completely forgot about that.
Ian.
I got too sidetracked over the fact that they would absolutely not be worth $2 billion.
Well, I couldn't wait to pitch to you because I was very curious about that number. So, well, there you have it, kids. Again, we promised you in August of last year you're going to get 3 full seasons. You have gotten them. And I'm telling you, if I sit here and say I've listened to every Ted Lasso podcast out there, of course I haven't. And I'm sure there's plenty of crews out there, whether it's 1 or 3 or 5 people or whatever, who love the show and did a bang-up job in their own right. But I would like to believe that we've done a really nice job here. We've paid respect to the show. We're all 3 major fans. We did this for the love of the show. We'll get, like Jay said earlier, peeling back the curtain, we'll do a lot more of that in the series rundown. We'll let you in on some stuff that behind the scenes, things we did to prepare and all that good stuff. But we'll talk more about it when it gets here. But I'm as proud as I can be of this podcast. We all 3 put a lot of work into this, so I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And this has been a blast for me. Again, you 2 guys are the best. Can't wait for the next show. We got to figure this out soon because I'm ready to start doing the graphics. So, yeah, let's get this done. Well, kids, that's all we got for you. Again, thank you so much for coming on the ride. Please visit boinkstudios.com, B-O-I-N-K, boinkstudios.com. You'll find podcast links to this show, the rest of my shows, the other 3 podcasts, and to these guys' shows as well. Everything that we have collectively is linked on that website. You can't miss it. Please go check it out. Please go subscribe. Remember, none of our stuff's behind a paywall. We could be getting rich off you guys. We're not. Okay? So, anyway, please go check it out. Follow us for free today. Subscribe to all the shows. And stay tuned because the series rundown will be here, should be here 7 days from today, whenever you're watching this as it premieres. So, again, kids, we thank you very much for hanging out. Thank you for spending your time with us. Thanks for following the show. We owe you guys a lot. We very much appreciate your time. And again, you guys are the best, and I appreciate you very much. That's it for us, folks. Got 1 more left. But for right now, for Joe and Jay, I'm Tom. We will see you next time, kids.